stop, rock. Don't stop. Just get on your mind when you're ready to rock.
Cause the sun won't shine, the rain won't stop. We got the style, you call punk rock. Yeah. Get about the jail, stop the house to roll. We're two DJs from the floor. Plus one to the people out there, we want y'all to know. We are the ones with the magical show. We're two DJs, the five MCs. Four other fellas, plus one MC. We're here to please everybody out there. Forget about the bumps, get about your hands. Just get on the floor, don't you be shy. You can do it too, just give it a try. To the people out there, we want the best. Special guarantee is what we possess. Shoot it back on the mic with a master plan. We do it for the girl, for the boy, the man. Most people go around just thinking anyway. We want you to hear what we say. The things we say, the things we do. It's like running a race and the don't come through. That's a line, the competition to be. But we are the ones, they are the ones. I am the one with the most you need. The fucking four got rhymes galore. I'm the plus one born star and I'm down below. Rock well, don't stop my level. Just get on the mic, just get on the mic, just get on the mic. When you're ready to rock.
Yes, yes, yes. Welcome back, everybody, for a brand new episode of Super MC. Whoo, boy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm not even going to waste no time. Tonight and all of this month, we are exploring women in hip hop. You know, it's a topic that can go on really even beyond this month. And we always play, you know, hip hop that involve females in this show regardless, because hip hop is hip hop, you know. But in this month being Women's Month, we want to celebrate and highlight the women of hip hop. And speaking of which, I'd like to introduce to everybody that doesn't always already recognize the face. We have with us this evening, we are blessed to have with us this evening, Queen Heroine. Everybody, round of applause. From the mighty, mighty Juggernauts. How are you doing?
Peace, 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 everyone. It's such an honor to be here. I'm just excited. I got a little dressed up. I feel like going out on a date. COVID, you don't go anywhere. So, put on a little red lipstick. I got my Ibis regalia hat on. Shout out to Ibis. I'm good. I'm just happy to be here with y'all, chilling.
Word. And we're happy to have you. Thank you for being here with us.
Absolutely.
Shout out to the Juggernauts. Shout out to the mighty, mighty Juggernauts. Woo!
Thank you so much. Yeah. Shout out to those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, my siblings. Brothers. Those guys. Breeze Bruin, my brother B Slim, Eva. Hey, my sister Rachel Walker in the building. Go check that woman out. She's a phenomenal singer as well. We got to support everybody doing things out here these days. So
Yes, we do.
Nomadic
females. Speaking of the females, we also have back with us one of the homies of the show, a homegirl. A homegirl, Smoke. How you doing, sister?
Hola, glad to be back.
Hey.
Salud.
How's everybody doing out there?
With the beautiful artwork that she did in the background.
Yeah, man. Multi-talented Smoke.
Dope.
Word up.
I don't even have to try.
This is hilarious, by the way.
But I
hilarious. Shout out, AP. She's hilarious, by the way. Gotta love a woman with humor.
I talk a lot of shit. Just wait till you get to know me. We're gonna have a lot of fun.
Most definitely. I'm looking forward to it.
And last but not least, my brother, can you please introduce yourself?
Vic Benito, aka Vic Virtuous, the dopest vocalist. So happy to be here this evening with these lovely ladies. Man, it's a pleasure. It's an honor to have you both. I'm super excited. Let's get with it. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's go. Okay, let's go. So we're going to start from the top here. We're going to take it from the top here, and let's just stop playing around.
Uh-oh. Serious when you hear that intro.
We came here tonight to get started, to co-act ill or get
started.
I'm Shantae and the rhymes is death. Just rap so fresh till I get out of breath. Now this is something that we do have to do.
juice. And this is a team that I must introduce. I'm Shantae, he's Bismarcky. We rap so fresh that they think it's three. Three of us who rap together, strong as a bond that is tougher than leather. My name is Shantae, and yes, I'm top choice. And you can tell by the sound of my voice that the way that I rock, that I am the best, higher than the rest, plus considered fresh. Threw on my feelers and my feline suit, stepped out my house, I just knew I was cute. Bumped into Busy, had a feline too. I said, yo, Bismarcky, what you wanna do? Stepped out the house, chilling, yes, you know. Went outside, it's kinda cold, you know. So I threw on the bomber so I could get loose. Matter of fact, it was my black dude. Stepped outside, everyone was on it. I said, you like it, baby, don't you want it? They looked at me, they thought it was funny. And out of my pocket came a mint of money. Me and Biz went uptown, yes. Chilling around cause we know we're the best. And then this guy came up to me. He said, we want you to make a record, you see. Look at this, said, you don't want to do it. He said, yeah, Shantae, there's nothing to it. I said, all right, and time has passed. I said, the money, haha, and we laughed.
Sorry. That right there, we just had to start there to set it off with Roxanne Shantae. Does anybody have anything to say about Roxanne Shantae?
Oh man, I'll leave the ladies first.
I mean, to me, that's the way you start. You start with that energy right there.
Yeah.
You start with that energy right there. I mean, who was doing that at that time, that young? You know, I want to say, even forget the aspect of just being a female or a woman who had that level of confidence that young. Mm-hmm. Who was doing that young?
Word.
Who was doing that? It wasn't her early stuff like freestyles, like from the top of the head, pretty much early on, or was that? I know when the album came out, it was written, but I thought she was freestyling on that first record.
I'm gonna say that I don't know that answer. Really? I was always told, if you don't know, I don't know that answer, and I'm not 100% sure. So I'm not going to say it was off the top or it wasn't. You know, it was impressive. I know that. I know it was impressive. I know that set the tone, lyrically, stage presence wise. You know, oh, shout out, Matic team. You gotta love how the brother comes in there, all hail the queen, like he don't know me. Shout out my brother. That's Kev Fever in the building. Yeah, man. But she set the tone.
Yeah. And right before that, in the intro, we had Shy Rock.
Mm-hmm.
She was from the Funky 4+1. She was pretty much one of the first female MCs. Her and Lady D. Some of the first, like. And I think she was originally from North Carolina. Like, it's just amazing to see this young girl with these four brothers, and she's holding her own. She's doing the damn thing.
Sounds familiar.
Looking innocent as can be, though. She was just sitting there like, but killing.
That's how it usually is. That's why the women are deadly. Because we might be sitting there just, hey, how are you? You know, would you like a beverage? Yo. Like, you know, silent killers. You don't know. Yep. You know, and that's an interesting thing from a societal standpoint too, because it's just like you're taught to be very proper and prim and not say anything. So I think that's interesting that when you're in a space where you have that opportunity to use your voice and it comes across so strong, it is strong, but people don't necessarily expect that, you know, coming from a female artist, and especially a girl that young, you know, to be that solid and strong. But the voice is always strong. It's just whether or not you're being heard. I think that's the distinction.
Yeah, you're right. Well said. My goodness. Smoke, what are your thoughts on that, on what she just said there? Anything?
Everything is absolutely true. Absolutely. As women, we're always taught to be quiet, know where your place is, and Roxanne just broke all the rules. Like, the first time I heard her, the first time I think I remember hearing her was when she destroyed Red Alert and the rest of his crew. He just like abolished them. There was no coming back. she destroyed them. And I just remember thinking like, whoa. Like, I was a kid too, you know, I was younger than her, even younger than her. I think I was probably, what, 12? And she was 14. I think I was probably 12. She was probably 14. And she was just destroying dudes. Just destroying them. I wanted to be just like her.
Exactly. I feel like that you saw that and you were like, oh, yeah. Okay. Where's my pad? Let me start. I can do this.
Yes.
Exactly. Very inspirational.
Me personally, that's what I'm really curious about. I've been wanting to hear how women felt when they first heard these rappers. You know what I mean? Whether you're an MC or not, like how did it feel? You know,
empowered.
Right. Empowered. I feel that's the perfect word. Definitely empowered. I feel like for me growing up, hearing in addition to the Roxanne, hearing Light, you know, to me it was just excitement over hip hop, period. It wasn't necessarily like, oh, just because she's a girl or a female. I think the empowerment is a great word, because the excitement was just the tone you felt with anything hip hop at that time. It was like, oh shoot, you know, Slick Rick, oh shoot, EPMD, oh shoot, you know what I mean? Like Public Enemy, like anything that was coming out at that time or even earlier, it was just exciting because it was new and it was just so dope. The fact that you saw the introduction of women come into play, empowerment is a correct word, because yes, that wasn't necessarily the norm, but I think hip hop in a whole was just exciting. So it wasn't, you know what I mean? Like whether she was female or it was a dude, it was just dope. And then when you saw females, it was like, oh, okay, that brought it like to another level. Just because you didn't see it often, it was like a comet. You know what I mean? It's not like it didn't exist. It's not like you weren't enthralled with the universe. You knew stars. Oh, shoot, that star is dope. But then you saw something just kind of, you know, an anomaly, and shout out to the anomalies. You know what I mean? Other female MCs were just doing amazing things too at that time. You know, not then, but, you know, later on.
Yeah.
So yeah, empowered is the correct word, because we were already excited. We were already excited with what was happening culturally and lifestyle wise. Like, this is the fabric of who we were in our environment. Yeah. But to see women doing it is, in addition or as part of that fabric, was like, you know, oh wow, that's a gold thread within the fabric. It was just something special, that existed within that.
Yeah, and even thinking of her, then I think of the real Roxanne, or as she called herself, the real Roxanne, who used to then come in and was dissing Roxanne Shante. Or was she she was dissing UTFO, I guess, for the most part. But that was that time frame where a lot of rappers, well, not a lot, but some were like dissing each other. They were kind of jumping on the coattails of the other person's fame.
True.
You know?
And honestly, I wanted the real Roxanne just sit down. Just like, shut the fuck up. Like,
I thought she was cute because I was a kid, you know, but she couldn't rap, not to me.
Couldn't rap.
This is why we have to have smoke on this conversation. I love it.
She was real cute, you know, because she dressed like Madonna. Had hit, you know.
Yeah, no. She wasn't worth it. But these women right here, so they came into the game and they had a record that was called Showstopper. They were going at, you know, Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh at that time. But they had so much more they did after that.
Salt and pepper's back, and we came to out-rap you, so get out my face before I smack you. Hold on, you know, can't you understand? If you mess with me, I'll take your man. Well, I take your man right out the box, then put him under my padlock. So when you see us together chilling in the place, go walking and put him in your face. Go ahead, roll your eyes, suck your teeth, keep huffing and puffing like a dog in heat. You can call me a crook, a robber, a thief, but I'll be your butcher if you got beef. You know what's up, I ain't no poop putt. Cold pepper kick butts off some young pups like you and the rest of your crew. If mines want static, I'll diss her too. So scram, you know who I am. Damn chick, don't play me close if I take your man.
Yo. I love that when that came out too. That was just bold. They just came in like, what? I'll take your man. And then the next moment, they came back with this record and was like, oh, by the way, they are tramps, though. Tramp.
Homegirls, attention you must pay, so listen close to what I say. Don't take this as a simple rhyme, cause this type of thing happens all the time. Now, what would you do if a stranger said, would you diss them or would you reply? If you answer, there is a chance that you'll become a victim of circumstance. Am I right, fellas? Tell the truth, or else I'ma have to show and prove you are what you are. I am what I am. It just so happens that most men are tramp. What you call tramp? Tramp. What you call tramp? Tramp.
Yeah, I'll be a tramp.
Have you ever seen a dude who's stupid and rude? Whenever he's around, he dogs your mood. I know a guy like that, girl. He thinks he's God's gift to the world. You know that kind, excited all the time, with nothing but sex on the mind. I'm no stunt, on me you can't front. I know the real deal, I know what they want. It's me. Why? Because I'm so sexy. It's me. What? Don't touch my body, boy. Cause you see, I ain't no skeezer, but on a real tip, I think he's a tramp. What you call tramp? Tramp. What you call?
Salt and pepper. Pepper.
I mean,
Mm.
I mean, you hear that and just brings you back there.
It does. I used to rap that song to my cousin. He used to punch the shit out of me. Like,
That's
you're
hilarious.
a tramp.
Okay, sorry, multitasking, motherhood right here. Yeah, man. Listen, that was the joint. And I can see why you got in trouble for that, Smoke. I mean, you know, those words were inappropriate. But you know, at the same time, it was dope. It was fresh. You know what I'm saying? Like that beat right there too. Shout out to everyone too in the audience. Shout out to Mikkel. Shout out to B Raw, the owner of Ibis Regalia. Shout out to my sis Ray. And what I just heard confirmation that that those were freestyles, as a matter of fact, from Sha Rock.
That's what I thought.
Oh, no. Yeah. Was it Sha Rock we're talking about? Rock there. Yeah.
Wow.
Indeed, Nicole. Indeed. I mean, that became a thin line. They're talking about sexual empowerment in there. You know what I mean? That became a very thin line that was walked, and it's still something that's quite risque. But I agree. I feel like Salt and Pepper was the first one really to introduce that idea of a sense of sexuality and sensuality. Whether, you know, that opened Pandora's box, that's a whole nother thing. But
Right.
I do think that they are at the forefront of that. But I thought that they did it in a way that was still tasteful. In my opinion, I felt like it was okay to. It made you feel like, you know, yeah, you could rhyme and you're dope, but yeah, I look good too. So, and why not? So, I mean, like everything else, but I do agree that was a big sexual like empowerment movement in addition, you know.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, man. It's like you either can do it or you can't. That's one thing that's the whole interesting about this. Oh, you only got to be this, or oh, that's too much. It's like there's layers to the game always, and that's with anything. that's with anything, and it should just come down to a sense of discretion and whatnot. But feeling like you can't embrace a part of who you are, that to me, that's imprisonment in a sense. You know what I mean? By gender imprisonment, but then the other flip side is the exploitation aspect. So it's a very thin line, but I do think they were at the forefront of that for sure.
Yeah.
And shout out to AP Raps, who was like reciting one of my old verses. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, Vic, how did you feel about Salt and Pepper when they came out?
I thought they were dope, groundbreaking. I kind of wanted to touch on Shantae a little bit too, because I felt like all these women embodied, like, I think it was Heron who was saying earlier how they just like went back at the fellas. I thought that was really dope. And being is that the culture of hip hop was so male dominated, like for me, I always tend to look at the females. They stood out more to me. Plus my brother back in the day, he used to rock with a female in the basement too, MC artist who was just as nice and dope as MC Light. So that was always just like super MC-ish to me, to see that skill and that confidence, and the fact that these ladies took nothing from the fellas, whether it was Shantae, whether it was the young lady my brother worked with, whether it was Salt and Pepper, like whether it was a ploy or a clout chase or not, they took it to the fellas, and I just thought it was dope. They had, and that record to me, now going back and listening to it, it sounds a lot like Rock the Bells. Not Tramp, but I'll Take Your Man.
I'll Take Your Man.
Yeah, it sounds a lot like Rock the Bells to me.
The percussion and all that.
Exactly. So they were fly. Like the women just had it all. They looked good. They could rap. They had the attitude.
Yeah.
They had the dope production. They, what more would you want?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they just had the whole total package.
Yeah. Exactly. What attracted me to them the most was what was super captivating was when you got to see them perform live, and they had like dance routines to go with the music. That for me was like a game changer, because most of the time you went to hip hop shows back then, it was just people walking on stage,
right, back and forth holding them
but
up.
they had like a whole routine, everything.
Yeah.
True.
Super.
Yeah, super MCs. That's the thing. And you guys use the word empowerment and empowering. That's the whole thing about super MC. It was like rapping is like having a superpower, and it also empowers others when you use those tools properly,
Exactly.
It's this amazing, beautiful thing that just, it keeps growing, even in the newer generation of MCs that are out there.
I don't
know. Oh no, go ahead, please. No, please go ahead.
For sure. It's actually touching on something that you were saying a moment ago, Vic, like this idea that, female MCs had this, they look good, they could rhyme, they were dope, they had X, Y, and Z. I feel like when you were saying it, I'm thinking of the list and agreeing with everything, except I don't feel like they had the respect and the acknowledgement, the way that so they had all those things, which is what makes it so ironic that at same platform, it was still not seen as a parallel, right? Lyrically. So, and you have women who could eat up dudes.
Agreed.
Love them. Love them.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I don't think it's something to be complaining about, because we know who we are and we know the power. But at the same time, it's something to certainly acknowledge and address. And that goes back, I do believe that goes back to the gender aspect. Yeah. When you think about the same idea of women not getting paid and having to fight for, with the whole shout out to the Serena and Venus fighting for, like, why am I not getting paid at the same level? Talk about performance for 20 plus years, still performing at that level. So it's like, you have to question that. And so you're right, all of those things intact. So why isn't the aspect of respect and the value scale equatable?
Right.
So you and Smoke feel like we're in a time now that the gap is lessening as far as the respect that should be coming to women, and that's in hip hop, and that's just period.
No, I think there's still a huge gap in looking at women as equals in any industry worldwide. I think everywhere, for some reason, because we're 60% men have more strength, physically, an average of 60%. Okay, more body weight than we do, so they're physically more stronger than us, and because of that, they always felt like, well, I'm not saying everybody, but historically, we were meant to be their property, especially in this country. We women, wives or men of men, were property, like legal property. We were not looked at as equal in any way because they were scared of our bits. Will Smith has a docu-series on Netflix right now, and there's one episode where they're talking about women's liberty, and it really opens up your eyes because historically, this country, the men in this country used to call our body parts bits. That's just to show you how much in fear they were of the divine feminine power. They feared the period so much that they had to label us as property instead of being their equal. And so in my experience, I've realized that I am not the same. I am not looked at as the same as the members of my community. Even though I can be first in line to help build a new youth center or whatever. You know what I mean? I can donate all my money to some charity. But the moment somebody disagrees with my behavior because I'm a woman, let's say I decide one night I'm going to go swing around a pole, all of a sudden I mean nothing. Even though I put so much effort into everything else into society, for some reason, I'll be looked at as though I have less quality, as if I don't matter as much just because I have a vagina. But
bring that pole in the living room, though, baby. Bring that pole in the living room, though. Right. Put that pole in the walk-in closet. Don't nobody gotta know about it. Right.
I'm gonna get a couple poles, one for me and one for my friends. That's what I'm gonna do. But I just we could talk about it forever. We could talk about it forever. And we could talk about it in a room full of 100 people, and chances are we'll only be able to change the mind of 3. They'll listen, but it doesn't mean that they're going to change. And, it takes time, it takes experience, and it takes a open mind to understand that we as women can do anything anybody else can do. If I can be in the military and fight in a war, I can be a rapper. I can be a filmmaker. I can own thousands of buildings if I wanted to. I can own property. I can do whatever the fuck I want, But for some reason, the moment you don't do the one feminine thing that they want you to do, all of a sudden you don't matter. So I give a lot of power. I send a lot of power to women in hip hop, women like Queen Latifah and Moni Love and Salt and Pepper, all of them, because I know for a fact that they must have dealt with a whole lot of shit to be accepted in an industry that was completely and utterly overrun by the male ego. No offense, fellas, but
No,
I think that's the
I'm here for the controversy. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm the show.
No, I think that when you're a woman and you're an artist, that's controversial. Period. So whether you're an MC, a painter, anything that kind of sits outside of the realm of societal standards, as stay home and do that, and I think that's a beautiful thing too. So I'm not even downing that as well. You know what I mean? I saw something on Instagram that was referring to what you were saying, Smoke, as far as like strength and questioning that and men's perspective, and they were just showing like the 10 centimeter diameter, that you have to dilate in order to give birth. and it just spoke about, you know, the relationship between that and strength right there. It's like, how can you question strength when women give birth to life? So it's like there's nothing stronger than that, you know, and raising children and families and things of that nature. And then you talk about multitasking, being a mother, doing this, going to work, you know, that's a whole nother kind of strength. I think this is so layered. As I was listening to you talk about the comment of bits and property, you know, I feel like anyone of color, well, I wouldn't say anyone. When you talk about slavery, you're talking about property. And when you start talking about women of color, that just enhances it to a whole nother level of not being acknowledged, right? And again, it's like you said, it's not like everybody, but certainly there's a whole ton of information that's connected to just women of color being valued or the lack thereof, right? And it, you know, it's just a very layered conversation because, you know, whether you're talking about hip hop or you're just talking about acknowledgement and value, as a woman of color, it's definitely not the same distinction. When you talk, you know, women who are white women, let me just go there. We're talking about a whole different value system societally. We're talking about a whole different, even on a job platform, you know. So, and then here's the thing. Here's where it gets tricky. So not only are you not embraced most days on a societal level or have to go through all kind of challenges, sometimes then you have to deal with the challenge when you come home, because now society, and again, this is a systematic thing in my opinion, right? Which has been spearheaded through slavery, is this distinction between man and woman, meaning the black man and black woman in that family, right? And so now there's almost this unconscious competition sometimes between you and your partner, right? Whether it's fear or whether it's power struggles, you know, because yes, things are definitely changing. There are way more MCs, there are way more women in business, there are way more women in administrative positions and things like that. But with that now comes a sense of tension in the home in regards to, like you said, the word femininity and home and role. So it's like you have to turn on the role to go outside and turn off the role to come inside. And sometimes the roles get switched. They get, and forget being a female MC. Good Lord. Oh, you want to come look pretty and then rhyme in a cipher with dudes and what? So there are, this is a very, very, very layered conversation, but a very interesting one, and certainly one that I think needs to be had for sure.
Yes.
Facts.
And continue to be had, obviously. Like this, wow. Y'all just said a lot right there. I loved it all. I loved hearing everything y'all did.
Same here.
I got a lot more to say.
We have to dance. We have to know how to do the dance. So pun intended with the poll. We have to know how to do the dance. And be delicate enough to know how to navigate around this situation with this particular, you know, in that circle, and then how to be stronger, more forceful in other situations. There's a lot of navigation, you know, and that's exhausting.
Word. I've had a lot of issues in my career where, I mean, I was dating and he couldn't handle the fact that people would constantly come up to me and ask me, hey, are you so-and-so? And I'm like, yeah, you're the artist formerly known as, and I'm like, yeah. And like, he couldn't handle it. And one day we were having dinner and somebody interrupted us while we were having dinner. You shouldn't be doing that, but they did. The next day he wanted to have lunch with me at work. He picks me up and I'm standing outside and he says, I'm having a hard time dealing with your popularity. And he was like, you know everybody. I'm like, I don't know everybody. They know me. That's it. But they know my name. They know what I do. They don't know me personally. And while we're standing there talking, somebody drives by in a van and yells out my artist name, just screams it. And he goes, you see, that's what I'm talking about, and broke up with me right there in the spot. Then I had another dude that I once dated that told me he didn't like dating me because I made more money than him. And for a minute there, I just stopped dating altogether. I think I went like 3 years before I started dating somebody again. And it wasn't because I was hurt. it was because I was just like too powerful. Like too powerful. They did not understand my level of the dream that I was trying to catch, the goals I was trying to achieve, and why I had to work so much harder to get into an industry that was once again completely overrun by the male ego. And it was a really strange thing and really hard for a lot of people to accept that instead of me running out to galleries and begging them, please take my artwork, I had art galleries calling me. And then, then they start looking at you like, okay, well, why do you deserve that? Because I worked for it, because I made a name for myself. And when you see my artwork, you can't tell if a woman or a man made it. That's why. So, but once they see you and they figure out, oh, snap, you female, then they want to change their minds and be like, why? Like, why you? So, big ups to all the ladies out there. Anybody who's trying right now and anybody else who's reached their goals. Don't stop. Don't quit. Don't. I promise it's worth it.
I wish that men. There's like a really serious. Smoke, could you turn down your volume, perhaps? Just a little bit.
All right.
There we go. Yeah. Hopefully, in time, more men get on board like they should, because for Black men, we do several dances as well, and have to wear several hats and masks and all types of everything. And it's like, if we're dancing and they're dancing, we need to be dancing together, two-stepping together, or doing whatever it is, but not different songs. Like, we need to be them together. And that's why I enjoy connecting with women like you, like y'all, because we're supposed to be in this together. That's just my opinion.
Indeed. I agree 100%. Shout out to all the men who are out there supporting their women, right by their, side, putting things up, posting things, helping, it is a team effort, and I feel like that is in the root of just a unit. My mother and father happen to be married for 50 plus years. And one thing I will say that I've observed is they're a collective team. They work together. And so you're right. It is about doing the dance together and knowing when to kind of push up, step back, step to the side, work together. It is in fact a dance. I think that's the perfect metaphor, and I do feel like when you know what you're doing and how you can contribute and bring that to the table and vice versa, then you know which steps you both need to take. And then sometimes I feel like, it is a rhythm. So sometimes you're going to step on each other's toes. You're going to step on toes until you, oh man, now we got this. You swinging, my other half is a Chicagoan. He could step. I can't step for shit. You know what I mean? I'll step on his feet or something, but you know what I mean? I'm a horrible dancer, but it's just, I've always been in awe of people who can dance. My daughter's an amazing dancer, and with that comes a certain understanding of movement. And I feel like the more that you learn, not just your partner, but more importantly yourself, then you know how to move, and for me, I think what may be part of what's made me maybe a horrible dancer, other than not being great at movement fluidly on the mic, is a different thing. Although there's always still more to learn there for me as well. But it just comes with time, I guess, and confidence in your step and knowing what you're bringing to the table. And it just after a minute, you start to know who you are and you know who your partner is and you know how to work together collectively. Very rare do you just kind of come in automatically and off top,
right.
Y'all swing it. No, it takes a minute. And even after 50 years, you can get a little thrown like, oh, we doing a cha-cha, not the tango? Like, even then it takes them, oh, okay, what are we doing here? And then that synchronicity, but when it's on, it's a beautiful thing to watch. And I just, I can only hope and pray that more Black families and families of color are able to do that, because that in itself is the root of community.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You're not talking about communities if your family structure ain't right. So
I'm just, my wife is a very powerful woman on many levels, in many ways, for many reasons.
yes, you better acknowledge her. That's right, Mikhail.
Okay. And she's also producing the episode as well. So shout out to her. But I say
Shout out.
that, yes, shout out to Mikkel Drew Pelham and her sister Nicole that's in the comments and on our other show, Like It Ain't. But I mentioned her, and even with Vic, with his wife, I'm not speaking for him, but I'm just saying it's inspiring to be with a woman so powerful. I don't see how you can cower to that or how you're intimidated by that, like how Smoke was talking. Like, that's some fuck shit.
Word.
I can't put it in any other words. It's just, Vic, you know.
Shout out to Inspired Artist Movement, my wife's brand, straight up entrepreneur at her best. So I definitely agree with your sentiments, brother. Like the women, this is why I'm taking it all in. My mouth has been closed for the most part. Like I'm just loving this. We always say each episode when the ladies are on, ladies first. Now here's that time and that platform for all of that. And I'm just soaking up everything and loving it.
Yeah.
Loving it.
Me
and
too.
I agree. I haven't heard anything that I disagree with thus far.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I love this.
So
Man.
shout out to y'all. Straight up. Queen, Smoke. And I just, you know, it at the same time as I'm loving this and I'm taking everything in, it breaks my heart to hear, you know, we've touched on this on a few other episodes, just like we go through things as men, as black men, brown, you know, black and brown men. But you guys, like, I can't even imagine, honestly. And to Queen's point earlier about like giving birth, this is something that Moni Love touched on Ladies First. This is why I feel like that record is such a powerful joint. To this day, it still rings bells. Like it's still prevalent to what's going on. You know what I mean? With the women and just your legacy as women and what you've done for this country, what you've done for your men, your partners, for each other. You know, that song really needs to be uplifting a lot more, in my opinion. Because it's not just a song.
Right.
It's not just a song. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, what I will say, which is in a positive thing, and I think that this comes with time and just aging and getting older, right? Wisdom, in that when you're younger, at least for me, I'll just speak from my own experience. When I was younger, meaning like 16, 17, 18, I mean, even though there was so much more to learn, obviously, to life, but when you're in that teenage stage, I mean, lyrically, as an artist, as a person, you couldn't tell me shit. You know, you're a teenager, right? I bring this up because it's a valid point, right? So I feel like with men around that age, there's a different sense of camaraderie. Like, oh, that's your boy, and it may be on some straight Wu-Tang deep 10, 12 dudes, 20 dudes, like that's your people. Whereas with women at that age, because you are still working on identity, who you are, you're becoming more of a sexual being, a little bit older, dudes are checking for you and things of that nature. So I feel like instead of necessarily coming together, oftentimes you may have your one or two close friends in your clique, but for the most part, it's like, who that chick? And I think then societal, because then it becomes competitive for dudes, for attention. Right. And that's just on a genetic thing. Like you're getting older, your body's kind of like, oh, who's that? You know what I mean? Just on a development level. I mean, so you're not doing anything that's technically abnormal. I feel like as you get older, you get wiser, you understand the sense of sisterhood. And me personally, I never did like sororities. I guess me being that kind of nomadic, I'm good, you know, I never did that. So I never had that. And then having all brothers, I'm the only, you know, woman in the family as far as sibling wise. My brothers, that was kind of they clique, and I kind of attached, linked onto that. But getting older, there are women who I know who I've collaborated with now that we knew each other years ago. We were in the same realm, and I think we always respected what each other were doing because we were dope. We just were, like, we were talented, but we never linked. We never connected. And then years later was like, yo, you want to do this joint? Hell yeah. because you understand that, again, that word empowerment, this idea of doing things collectively as a movement. And it's like, all right, well, maybe we're not being recognized as a whole within just the realm of what this culture is with everyone, but we recognize each other. So let's connect and let's do things. And I think that's why there's so many movements now that are also women led. You know, shout out to Universal Hip Hop Museum right now, and Martha Diaz, you know, who I just recently started connecting with, doing some things. They're doing an amazing things over there in the development with the Universal Hip Hop Museum. And there's a whole division. I had a meeting earlier just discussing women in hip hop. So, and making sure that there's the proper recognition and acknowledgement and the contributions that have been made with women in hip hop. So I just feel like, you know, you get older, you get wiser, you learn, and you understand the science behind connecting and how empowering that is beyond yourself, you know. And Smoke mentioned the word ego in connection with dudes, but, you know, everyone has ego, and I agree 120,000% of what she said. But in addition to that, women have ego too.
Queen, I wanted to ask you, I wanted to piggyback off what you're saying, because I'm a student of this from the infancy of hip hop. And I've seen the scale kind of go up and down with the women in hip hop, where it was like you saw the soloists, like your Shyrock, your Shantays, your Lights. It was kind of an individual thing. Then you saw your Salt and Pepper, Finesse the Sequence, Body and Soul. So my point is, like, you would see like a scale up and down where it was a solo thing, but then it went from that to camaraderie. And then you saw like the females battling each other. Then you saw them like doing the collaborations. To your point with the ego thing, do you think that was more of like an industry planted thing where it was a division, divide and conquer, or you think it was really just a competitive for the culture?
That's a great question. That's a great question. I definitely think that there's always a sense of division that's created for women, aka the cat fight. You know, maybe I might see this pop out. I think there's always that, whether we're talking literally or we're talking figuratively, because you know, religion does it every day to conquer and divide, right? So, and why is it done? Because it's economic. So it's like, okay, well, if we split that, and if we got, you know, I'm just for point's sake, if we got the Cardi versus the or the Kim versus the Fox, I'll do that analogy. If we do the Kim versus the Fox, whoa, now we got a war going on. You know what I'm saying? And then you got a whole bunch of, oh shoot, Kim, oh Fox.
Yeah.
That division in itself, Mikhail's laughing. That division in itself, real talk though, that division in itself creates a buzz. That pushes the market in a sense for both of them, but then it's at what risk? Then you have two women that technically could have collaborated hypothetically, but now there's a sense of division because it's marketable to do that.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel like perhaps some of it is conscious and decided like, I'm just trying to work with her, I'm doing me, I ain't feeling her. But is there an aspect of it being placed that way, whether it's marketing, branding wise, putting it in people's heads, societal? Absolutely. Absolutely. I definitely think that two men ain't gonna argue a man ain't gonna argue two women fighting over, you know, oh shoot, let me sit back some popcorn first. And then, after 3-4 minutes, oh y'all wilding, come on, baby, relax. My homegirl. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You know,
hold on, wait a minute. Yeah.
Wait a second, hold on, baby. You know, but there's entertainment in it for him, right? So on a larger scale of the audience as consumers, there's entertainment in it. Now, is that fair or right? No, but is it profitable? Yes.
Yeah, sex over self. In whatever form.
And tension.
Intention.
And war. War is one of the biggest profitable things ever.
If not,
there'll always be war because there's always going to be a fight over something, and there's always profit from it.
Yeah. Facts.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I was here for some of it. You know, like I've been watching all this week. John and I have been doing a deep dive with the women in hip hop. And like I said, being a student, I was a huge fan of the Light versus Antoinette battle. I was here for it. And it's not because one looked good and the other one was that, like, they were both lyricists to me. And I loved it. Genuinely loved the battle back and forth. But as I'm listening to Antoinette explain the story, like it still sounded like a lot of the dudes were behind it. Like Audio 2 pushed Light to diss Antoinette first.
Period.
Or, you know, it wasn't really them per se that made the decision to go back and forth with each other. You know what I mean? So
Right, the orchestration. Right. And again, and then you question, well, who was behind that?
Mm-hmm.
And then when you do see it's male oriented, it's like, okay, well, then what was the motive? So I see who, why.
Right.
You know what I mean? And again, you just have to question it. But again, I do believe it's connected to the economic aspect and the marketing aspect of it. It's just that women, we kind of suffer from that aspect of not being able, well, you can still build, but I'm saying it's profit. It's like I hate to compare it to this is not, but it's like, you know, two pretty pits against each other. All right, let's see who win. I mean, it shouldn't be, but you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, no doubt, definitely.
You know,
well, if you're gonna let ladies in the room, in the end, they'll only allow one. You know, a lot of these groups, till this day, you will see a whole group of rappers. They will all be male, and then there'll be one girl in the front, and that's it. And then half the time, you know, in photos, you know, social media, they'll show her up front, but then later on, they all walk away, and she's the only one left in the room. Like, okay, what's happening now? You know, like,
and you know, for both,
I learned how to live like that, though. Like, I learned how to be left alone in the room and still be successful. So, if you're a woman right now watching this show and you have felt that way, this is something that I tell a lot of my girls. And it's a little bit vulgar, so I apologize, but you are the most powerful person in the room simply because you have tits and ass. They fear you because of your body parts, because of what your body can do. You are a universe. You can create life. You can also take it back. Okay? But understand that because you are also the most powerful person in the room, because they fear you, they will leave you. They will leave you out of the loop. They won't let you rotate around their solar system. That's why you are your own universe and you have to move on and continue with your own shit. Like, don't be worried about whatever it is they're doing and who they're working with, who they're trying to sleep with. That has nothing to do with you. Absolutely nothing to do with you. Just go on about your business, do what you got to do, because you already know that you're extremely powerful because you were in that room. You are so powerful. So, but it's going to take a lot of work and probably a few more generations to get people to understand that we are just as equally important as anybody and in any industry, you know, any industry.
You know, I wanted to say back to what Vic was saying as well about the whole thing with the females beefing with each other and everything in records, especially Antoinette and MC Light. Herbie Lovebug was the one pushing the strings on the Showstopper with Salt and Pepper, and he was also involved in this one with Antoinette and MC Light. So
he loved it.
I'm not trying to put him on blast. I'm just putting the facts out there. You know? So he was definitely involved in pushing that narrative early on with the females.
What's the dude, the boxing dude with the hair? The tall
Don King.
Oh, Kid?
So that's the king method.
He was.
Oh, Don
Not
King.
King Jr.
Yeah. If you think with Roxanne Shante, you know, Molly Mall wanted her to record a record dissing somebody. So the first few females that came in, they were kind of pushed by the men that were behind them, behind the boards, saying, go diss this person.
I play devil's advocate for a moment too. When you think about it, like I remember for myself growing up, rhyming, writing, you know, my brothers were like, I remember my brother Fever one day, he's like, you need to be able to rhyme to anything. I was like, what if it's fast? I don't care. You need to be able to rhyme to anything. I used to practice rhyming over beats that had lyrics just to challenge myself. So Even though I was listening to the lyrics and being
Oh,
distracted to an extent, I still wanted to be able to, can I stay focused enough on task, on the track, just to still rhyme and stay focused with what I needed to do. So I just want to throw that idea of sometimes we will always rise to the occasion. We will always rise to the challenge. We are, that's how we're built. Right? That's how we're built. So it's like you put us in the fight, we still gonna do what we need to do.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And I think that's just, but that goes back to the word exhaustion too. Like just because you can doesn't necessarily mean that you always want to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just because you're capable of it. And I think that's a thing too that comes with age. It's like, I'm good here. I don't need to. I know who I am. When you're younger, you're like, oh, I'm proving who I am. Later on, I know my seat, you know what I mean? And it's a throne. Even if it's one of them plastic joints that fold up and you open, you sit down, like it don't change. I know what my throne looks like regardless.
Right.
So
I agree. I love this. All right, so let's go into a couple songs still. We got some things.
Yeah, we went heavy fast. We went heavy fast.
Went heavy. I love it.
What happens? That's what happens.
Testing my mic, 1 2 1 2. I'm here to entertain. Yes, this means you don't need no help. All by myself, I proceed cause you need to enjoy yourself. Try to compare? Oh, don't you dare, cause I'm sweeter than the cream in a French eclair. Smoother than the ice in a skating rink. Have I forgot anything? Let me think. Oh yeah, I take a pen, draw you all in line. You'll find that I'm a lyrical mastermind. The more you scream, the more I strive to get live. Put your body in overdrive. Let's check the situation from a serious tip. Wanna hear something whack? Well, this ain't it, cause the beat is deaf. And now you're told to prepare to work out a little rock and roll. Lace them shoes, tighten up that belt, and beware, cause it's something that you never felt. Cause it's rough and rough, hip it and hip. Don't be a drip, let it rip, but on a smooth tip.
Yo, Sweet Tea.
Salute. Oh my God. I used to love that record, man. Still do. Still
Yes.
love it.
Yes. Oh man. But Vic, you just mentioned Antoinette, so we gotta go to that. Let's go to that.
Potent, lethal but steady. Man your battle stations, I'm ready. Cold getting bigger, an idol like figure. Play me if you want and make like a trigger. Squeeze off your best. You can huff and fuck, but it's kitty stuff. Because your best ain't good enough. Stand at attention, your body in line. This ain't your average rhyme. If it is, it ain't mine. Ducks, has-beens, I'ma show them all. I'm not a joker, but I laugh, cause y'all can't brawl. I roll the mic, smoke to lay it to rest. Embalmed in my palm, I touch it and it's blessed. Got style, I know the routine. All punk, pop and jump, can't join my team. I got an attitude.
Those were the days with no hooks. No
said,
sing song. Exactly. That's it. Plain and simple.
Yo,
salute.
And then Light came back with this.
Oh.
And you can hear attitude in the background. They're playing it in the background like, oh shit.
Did you spell this guy?
Hot damn, ho, here we go again. Suckers steal a beat when you know they can't win. You stole the beat, are you having fun? Now me and the odds gonna show you how it's done. You are what I label as a nerve plucker. You're plucking my nerves, you MC sucker. I thought I ought to tell you, better get warned, that I am like a stock and my word is born like James, killing everybody in sight. The Cold Street 6, the name is Light. After this jam, I really don't give a damn, cause I'm around to tell your whole damn clan that you're a
beat biter, dope style taker. Tell you to your face, you ain't nothing but a faker. Beat biter, dope style taker.
Hit me why don't you? Hit me why don't you?
Yo, a beat biter, dope style taker. Tell you
Tell it to your face, you ain't nothing but a faker. I was here for it. I love them both. Love them
I
both.
love I
course.
love her. I love her.
Yeah.
Light's voice was just
my
classic.
hero.
Exactly.
She's my hero.
Exactly.
Light's voice was classic. I think for me that was one of the most attractive qualities, was just her voice.
Yeah.
Very captivating. She had just one of them classic voices. That's one of the things that makes, you know, an MC really, really dope too, in addition to the other aspects. But voice,
Yes.
classic voice.
Like Guru said, it's mostly the voice. And for me as an MC, I would say she was one of the most inspiring MCs for me, with her articulation, her intelligence.
My brother, you gotta love family. You gotta love them. You gotta love them. I gotta get him extra.
She was the only female that I knew of that dudes knew the lyrics, and they ride along with the lyrics right with her. She was the only one.
Yeah. Well, she was the first for me that I just. Matter of fact, she was the first female MC's album that I think I bought.
Same here. Eyes on This for me on cassette. Yep.
My God.
Yep.
Yeah, she's one of my favorites.
So they had their back and forth with the diss records and all that kind of stuff. But then at the same time, the great thing about MC Light was then she was still able to, I mean, she had a whole career, obviously, but then she did stuff like this.
One of my favorite songs ever. You don't have to keep my mic off for this.
It doesn't matter, it goes into my head as just chit chatter. You may think it's egotistical or just very free, but what you say, I take none of it seriously. And even if I did, I wouldn't tell you so. I'd let you pretend to read me, and then you'd know. Cause I hate when one attempts to analyze. In fact, I despise those who even try to look into my eyes to see what I am thinking. That dream is over, your yacht is sinking. I tell all of you, like I told all of them, what you say to me is just paper thin. Word. I'm not the kind of girl to try to play a man out. I take the money and again, then break the hell out. No, that's not my strategy, not the game I play. I admit I play a game, but it's not done that way. Truly, when I get involved, I give it my heart. I mean, my mama sold my body, I mean, every part. But if it doesn't work out, yo, it just doesn't. It wasn't meant to be, you know, it just wasn't. So I treat all of you like I treat all of them. And what you say to me is still paper thin. In one ear and right out the other. Herders mumble jumble. Lover, I don't pay attention, I don't concentrate. You ain't got the bait that it takes to hook this. Sucker, you missed. I put feelings aside. I know who I am. My name is Light. Is your name Sam? Cause if it is, step off. Grab your coat and get lost. Wrap your scarf around your throat and go back and catch the boat and hit the road, Sam. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Sam. Don't you come back no more. So now I take precautions when choosing my mate. I do not touch until the third or fourth date. Then maybe we'll kiss for the fifth or sixth time that we meet. Cause a date without a kiss is so incomplete. And then maybe I'll let you play with my feet. You can suck the big toe and play with the middle. It's so simple, unlike a riddle. It's as easy as counting a 1, 2, 3. In other terms, letters L-Y-T-E. I'll tell you, and all of you in the back and in the middle, in the front. Yo. That's it, paper thin, word up. So like, checking out.
Yo, that song, that video, everything, flawless, classic. Be Nice, the cameo, Search. Yo, we could just go on and on about that joint, man.
One of my favorite songs ever.
Please, Queen.
I'm sorry.
No, Queen, go ahead, please.
Ladies first, please.
That's one of my favorite songs, and I agree with it. When I hear it, I go right to the video. My, you know, you just connected. I just remember it. You know, it's just great times, great memories.
Oh man,
that's one of my favorite songs ever.
Same.
Ever. Still is.
Yeah.
Still. I did everything except breakdance just now.
He was like, "You gonna have to turn my mic off." I didn't know you was doing this. I didn't know you was doing this. Oh shit! This is that record. MC Light, and it was, to me, it was a strong song because lyrically she's killing it, but she's also telling this dude like, "Yo, I'm not having your bull." And in the video, she's walking off with D Nice. She's chilling.
So dope, man.
Yeah, Light. So then, Light did what she was doing, but you also had this happen too. I love that Latifah didn't come into like the 12th bar. She came in at her own time.
My mellow Lottie was kicking flavors. The Ari Posse said, "Yo, Latifah, we can do this." So I paused and took a thought. Then my brilliance I caught and I agreed, cause I already knew this. Now you should wanna flex, cause I'm in full effects. Queen Latifah is 5-0 on this set. You've been begging and dying for somebody's rhyming to set you free. For God so loved the world he gave you me. I'm coolin', teaching those me in schooling, and the mic, this mic in my hand, I'm pulling. So prepare your mind for my lifeline and meet the new queen of royal badness. Latifah has the spirit, so head for the water and dive into the wrath of my madness. Constantly I've been getting higher, causing to run away. Queen Latifah getting higher, causing to run away. Some MCs that gold and arrogant, vain and using each other to compete with. These subjects I pity, cause their minds are not witty. Like Mozzarella around it, so delicious you could eat it. Now there are those who like my taste, but don't consider biting. It's penalties for those who don't do right and just be reciting everyone else's work. That took a lot of thinking. It's not a fault your thoughts are shrinking, while mine are growing. Yes, you know, like all the woman inside of me, despite what you do or say, and even in spite of me, brothers. Catch my eye with little hijinks like Irish, dying to have a lover of my likeness. So release all your shyness, just call me your highness, and dare to feel the wrath of my madness. I still have been getting higher, causing to run away. Queen Latifah getting higher, causing to run away.
Yo, Queen, I'm sure you could dig this, right? Latifah, this album is hands down one of my favorites. First off, all hail the Queen. Shout out to Latifah. But it's one of the first joints from I don't like saying female MC. I hate that. I hate it. Women in hip hop who had more of that Caribbean.
I was just thinking that. You already know we were talking about the
exactly.
I was thinking that as John was playing it, and I was like, "Yo," I mean, it's like innately I knew that, but then I was listening, I'm like, "Yeah." I mean, the Caribbean aspect came in strong.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I agree.
And she was singing too.
That is Inside Out. A record Inside Out.
Inside Out is my favorite song.
You and I both, Queen. I'm telling you.
I was like, yo, where's John's throw Inside Out?
And I mean, since we're on Latifah and we mentioned the whole Caribbean vibes and the whole thing with ladies first,
ladies first. Ooh, ladies first, ladies first. Ooh, ladies first, ladies first. Ooh, ladies first, ladies first.
Kick it, the rhyme it is wicked. Those that don't know how to be pros get evicted. A woman could bear you, break you, take you. Now it's time to rhyme. Can you relate to a sister dope enough to make you holler and scream?
Hey, yo, let me take it from here, Queen. Excuse me, but I think I'm about due to get into precisely what I am about to do. I'm conversating to the folks who have no whatsoever clue. So listen very carefully as I break it down for you. Merrily, 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 hyper, happy, overjoyed. Please, with all the beats and rhymes my sisters have employed. Look, soon throwing down the sound totally a yes. Let me state the position. Ladies first, yes?
Yes.
Ladies first, ladies first.
Believe me when I say being a woman is great, you see. I know that all the fellas out there will agree with me. Not for being one, but for being with one. Cause when it's time for loving, it's the woman that gets them strong. Stepping, strutting, moving on, rhyming, cutting, and not forgetting. We are the ones to give birth to the new generation of prophets, cause it's ladies.
I break it into a lyrical freestyle. Grab the mic, look at the crowd and see smiles. Cause they see a woman standing up on her own too. Sloppy slouching is something I won't do. Some think that we can't flow. Stereotypes, they got to go. I'ma mess around and flip the scene into reverse.
With what?
With a little touch of ladies first.
Ladies first, ladies first. Ooh, ladies first, ladies first. Ooh, ladies first, ladies first.
Yeah, there's gonna be some changes right here.
Who said that the ladies couldn't make it? You must be blind. If you don't believe, well, here, listen to this rhyme. Ladies first, there's no time to rehearse. I'm divine and my mind expands throughout the universe. A female rapper with a message to send. The Queen Latifah is a perfect specimen.
My sister, can I get some?
Sure, Moni Love, grab the mic and get dumb.
Yo, praise me not for being simply what I am. Born in L.O.N.D.O. and sound American. You dig exactly where I'm coming from. You want righteous rhyme and I'ma give you some to enable you to age yourself and get paid. And the material that has no meaning, I wish to play. Pay me every bit of your attention, like mother, like daughter. I would also like to mention, I wish for you to bring me to the rhythm of which is now systematically given. Desperately stressing, I'm the daughter of a sister who's the mother of a brother who's the brother of another. Plus one more, all four have a job to do. We doing it respect due to the mother who's the root of it. And next up is me, the MONIELOVE, and I'm first cause I'm an LAZIE.
Contact and in fact, the style it gets harder. Cooling on the scene with my European partner, laying down track after track, waiting for the climax. When I get there, that's when I tax the next man or the next woman. It doesn't make a difference. Keep the competition coming, and I recite chapter in verse. The title of this recital is Ladies First.
Ooh, ladies first, ladies first. Ooh, ladies first, ladies first.
Epic record. Let's go to this.
Brother, what is with you? You can't take a hint. I need to shove a spoon between your eyes for you to see you and me were never meant to be. Your homeboy likes me, I like him too. Get out the picture. I get your point, but I'm not rolling with the punch. I scrunched up the letter you wrote me in lunch. In fifth period, I paid no notice to your motion. My work is on the table, my pen's in locomotion. Every time I turn around, you're looking at my face. I try to ignore you. The bell rings, I race out the room. Soon to another room, sit down. What do you know? The lover's in town, the other brother, the one I was to talk to, sitting 3 seats back, and I'ma walk over to him and give him the letter I wrote, because my feelings towards him are ruined, you know. Moni in the middle, yeah, Moni's in the middle, Moni in the middle, yo, Mo, what is she? Moni in the middle, yeah, Moni in the middle, Moni in the middle, yo, Mo, what is she? Moni in the middle. In seventh, the knucklehead walks in and sits down beside me. I said, yo, why you trying to rob me? Day in, day out, I can't seem to get you off my back. What do you think that I should do about that? In fact, it's embarrassing. What a buffoon. You even follow me in the ladies' bathroom. Give me a break, I can't take it. The stakes are too high. Besides, there goes the other brother. I'm not cute sweat, so don't sweat me. The other brother's smooth approach is what gets me. He intrigues the more you know, so I suggest the course towards me, you blow. You're wasting time pursuing Moni, cause she's pursuing the lover only. And as my mother did, she told me, go for what you know, Mo. Yo, Moni in the middle, yeah, Moni's in the middle, Moni in the middle, yo, Mo, what is she? Moni in the middle, yeah, Moni in the middle, Moni in the middle, yo, Mo, what is she? Moni in the middle.
Oh boy. Oh my. Moni.
Ladies, I'm sorry. I got a lot to say, but ladies first.
Breathe.
Go for it.
Go ahead, Vic.
Yo, Moni Love, I'm sorry. I'm just going to say flat out. She's one of the finest ladies in hip hops all around. Physically, lyrically, all bases covered. She's just aged with like fine wine. Like she's just still dope to me. You look at her Instagram, you look at any interview on YouTube, she's still just as sharp as she was back then. She still knows how to push. She knows how to push a pen. I feel like I think I saw something on Instagram where she was working with Elder Sensei. They got something in the works, and it sounded crazy. She's super, super dope. She's one of my favorites, hands down. Just from like a clarity point of view, like very precise, clear cut. The multisyllabic, super fast flow, like just she's just super just dope all around to me.
Yeah.
I remember again, Shantae was just involved with so much from back in the day, with beef especially. But I remember when she came out with Big Mama and took shots at Moni. And I don't recall Moni responding back, but I was like, yo, please don't let anyone mess with this girl, because I just felt they were going to get slaughtered. They would get sliced messing with Moni. And I mean, no disrespect to Shantae, but she didn't even write the Big Mama joint. So I didn't even really take that serious. Like, it was a dope joint, but she wasn't even behind the pen. So it's neither here nor there. But hands down, Moni is one of the dopest MCs. Not just female MCs, but one of the dopest, period.
Yeah.
I had a mouthful.
He's
I
dope.
love Moni. I love Moni.
This
I love
is
Moni.
We see with good reason. We see, but with good reason. And
Thank
she definitely underrated too. Just she definitely doesn't get the acknowledgement that she deserves of that movement. Certainly part of that movement. And she was incredibly dope. And someone in the chat threw out, and Mikkel been having some serious points in the accent. Yeah, Mikkel been hitting with yo, she be hitting with points. I was like, who's oh yeah, Mikkel. Word. And the accent, which was something, just new and refreshing, just to hear the little, UK. Also Yardie.
Exactly.
Also Yardie. Yep. But the whole the UK Yardie aspect. But yeah. And you said clarity. Yeah, how she articulated her words. Oh, you said precise. Very, very precise. I agree. Like clean. Very clean. You could hear every word nice and clear. Yeah, nice and clear. Every single word. I mean, I'd have thought about this. I could be off, but I'm gonna go there because we're talking.
Please, Queen. Okay. Go ahead.
Tell it.
I'm not sure because I don't know the story behind it. But I do question how come she didn't get the proper acknowledgement. And she was very pretty.
Yeah.
And I question that. She was very natural too, naturally pretty. So it wasn't like, putting on a certain look or whatever. I just question beauty if it can't be manipulated or used to someone else's benefit a certain way. Back to the question of the comment of marketing. And I question, did she not get her shine because she was just, nice, sweet, nice looking? I don't know. There's something to be said for that personally. I do. I think sometimes when women are beautiful, it becomes sometimes it either works and it's like, you're a star, or it's like, I don't want to deal with you. You're just too pretty. Right. I don't want to fuck with you. I don't want to deal with you.
Really?
Yes, I do.
Because it's intimidating. Back to what Smoke was saying earlier, it's intimidating for a lot of the fellas. So, but
I think it's not just fellas.
Yeah, I was just about to say,
and men.
This is true.
And I think I've been in certain realms myself. I'm not harsh on the eye, and I feel like there've been certain situations where it's like, I remember this is. I'll use this. My brother Breeze, very wise man. All of my brothers are,
Dope.
And I remember when I was going to college. He said, the men are going to love you and the women are going to hate you. I'll never forget that. I don't know if he even remembers that. And he's shout out to Breeze Bruin on the chat here, checking it in. And he was like, yo, he said, here's my advice. Just be prepared that the men are going to love you and the women are going to hate you. And
this is why honestly, I was asking earlier.
That was real.
This is why I was asking earlier from your opinion as a female and as an incredible lyricist, with the whole back and forth I've seen throughout history with the ladies, and just in general, like you hear a lot of ladies, like they have, not all, but just this camaraderie issue, with either uplifting each other or being against each other. And
but I think now it's different. See, I think now it's different. As elder, now say elder, like, walking around with a cane. Some days I do. If my sciatica's fucked up, I do have a cane and a heating pad. I'm not gonna lie. But I'm just saying, like, as a grown woman, I think right now you just understand the value of that on many levels, and the challenges and things that we go through. Yeah, the light skin pretty thing too. I mean, and again, that goes into this aspect of colorism, and that's something too. This panel, talking about hip hop and women, that's something as well that's going to be discussed with the Universal Hip Hop Museum topic. That's led by Martha Diaz. That's something we've been discussing as well. but this aspect of colorism in the industry. I happen to have a daughter she's gorgeous. She's darker than me. And we talk about this. We have these conversations. She said to me, Mommy, when I was your age, the boys, they'd be checking for you because you're lighter. And I'm darker than my mom.
The light skin, dark skin thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's crazy. And that goes back to what Smoke was saying before too, when we talk about the bits and the property. We're still there to an extent, right? Where it's self-sabotage just on a communal level, on a agenda level, on a lack. I mean, there's so many layers to this. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm teaching a hip hop course right now. I teach at Monroe College. And we're talking about, the elements of hip hop and knowledge of self. And, it goes back to that, and working through some of your own demons and loving on yourself and who you are. And that takes work. That's not something that just automatically happens. Everybody has their insecurities, but it's like, at the end of the day, the better, stronger person you're bringing to the table is just the better person you're bringing to whatever the unit is. But that's relative. And I question that. Trust me, I question it. It's like either you Beyonce or you nobody, or you nonsense. You ain't nobody. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and that's also what Smoke was saying. Like, the industry just has space for one. So it's like, okay, you're just another pretty one. Okay, whatever. So either you don't fit into that mold because there's that one space and you can't fill the spots. The spots been filled. The slots been filled. Or you become, competition, and women are looking at you funny style. And it's not. I think it's changed as you get older as a woman, but there's still grown ass women who function that way too. And
Queen,
it's deep.
I was just going to say,
sorry.
please plug all the information in for not only the viewers and listeners, but from me as well, because I'd love to tune into everything that you have going on. It sounds amazing.
For sure. So, I mean, this is brand new heavies right now. I'm honored to be part of it. I haven't even chopped it up with my team about it.
Okay.
I'll get cursed out later about that Matic Juggernaut stuff. But very, very recent. I'm on a committee, like just helping out to brainstorm like curriculum things, because I also teach. I'm an educator, as I mentioned a moment ago. So Universal Hip Hop Museum, they're doing amazing things, and you can just go to the Universal Hip Hop Museum either via Instagram or online. And they're just in the process. It's based in the Bronx, but everything right now is virtual. And they're just developing the company, or not the museum, rather. It is an official museum, and developing as much as possible. So there are two committees. One is that I'm connected to is just the educational aspect of curriculum building, and then the other one is like women in hip hop, which is really, there's a lot that's happening. So definitely check in with them as we're in Women's History Month now. So that's one thing for sure. Shout out my brother Breeze Bruin of Juggernauts. He just released an album called Hindsight. It's phenomenal.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure. I'm a huge fan.
Man,
Oh,
it is a solid album. He's getting a lot of recognition that is well deserved. He just got Bandcamp just hit him up with February's. He was best of hip hop for February Bandcamp. He's just gotten so much great, feedback. So you can go to Breeze Bruin. His Instagram is at Breeze Bruin, Breeze, Bruin, Brewin. And check out him. You could go to Fat Beats. The album is available there. Shout out to the Matic team. That's our indie label. And Matic, you can go to at the Juggernauts, which is spelled THE and then JUGGAKNOTS, not to be confused with the other Juggernauts. Shout out to them, I guess, as well. Did I say I guess? That's horrible. But you know what I'm saying. The official first old Juggernauts that I recall. And so, you can go to our site as well, or the Instagram. We recently put out an ONN album, which is part of the Matic team, Ray Fogues. There's just so much good stuff. And then you can go to the Queen Heroine. My Instagram is THEQUEEN, and then heroin spelled HERAWIN. And lastly, I'd like to shout out IBIS. We got to support Black businesses. You can go to IBIS Regalia. I have to make sure that I'm spelling that properly. But Fly gear is just amazing gear. I just got my Scully, which is good because I ain't braid my hair. So, I got things done here that I don't want people to see, but I gotta look cute still. Um, so there's that. And then as far as the projects, I'll get the proper spelling. As far as the projects, Metamorphosis, a old solo album that I put out, and then an EP I released about 2 years ago, The Space Between Things. And then any old Juggernaut stuff, Use Your Confusion, Clear Blue Skies is always good to check out. And I appreciate y'all checking any and all of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yes. Question for you,
Yes, sir.
Queen. How did you come up with your rap name? And here's another part to that question. Do you remember your original rap name?
Absolutely. So, great question. My original rap name was Baby Joy, because I'm the youngest out of all of my brothers, and my real name is Peridot, and it means joy, supposedly. I've heard that it also means lust. I believe lust brings joy for a short period of time. So, yeah, my name was Baby Joy. It was Baby Joy at first. I even had I don't have it anymore, but my brother, Kev Fever, he had gotten me like a old, like the Kwame back, polka dot, when everything was popping with the polka dots. I had a red bag with black polka dots, and it had like Baby Joy tagged in graph letters. I think it was in yellow. I don't know where that is now, but yeah, so it was Baby Joy. And then it was P Funk, and then it was P Funk because of the P for Peridot. That name was Breeze. Breeze gave me that name. It was like my brothers ordained me, like, you'll be P Funk now, so it's like at certain ages and shit. And then it was Heroin. And Heroin just started off as Heroin, I believe. It's been so many years. And it was spelled like the female hero. And what happened was we'd have shows and articles, more importantly, articles, and they would be like Heron, Heron. Oh, Queen Heron, Heron. And at that point, I was in education too. I had been teaching. And I was like, I don't like all of this Heron stuff. That's not my name. My name is Heroin. And even that was politically driven, because it's like, why are you taking something that is a female hero and all of a sudden now I'm just a drug? Yeah, I may be addictive metaphorically, and I'll throw that. I've thrown that in my lyrics. I've definitely thrown the metaphor, but but as far as just heroin, like, I'm not out here telling the kids to go do drugs. I'm telling them, no, don't do drugs, like the old school commercials I used to see. Like, you know what I'm saying? Say no to drugs with the little omelet, the egg cooker. You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm like, I'm not trying to push drugs to the kids on the side. Here's a lesson in some, crack and heroin. Like, no. So I didn't like that. So I was like, let me change the spelling to Herawin, which I did. But I'm going to be honest with you. Some days I feel like I shouldn't have done it. I mean, right now people know it and it's been spelled so long this way, but I feel like I kind of enabled it in the sense of, you should never have to conform. Like, that's who I was. And I should have just pushed that, like, yeah, I am Heroin, and stop spelling my shit wrong. It should have been that instead of, let me change. And again, but we're so accommodating. You know what? I'll change my spelling of my own name so that you get it. It should have been like, no, fix my shit, and if I was, if I was the woman I am now, then I would have never changed the spelling, to be honest with you. But, I'm happy with it. I am who I am. I've evolved into that. But I just felt it was necessary to change the spelling because it was sending the wrong message. And I was concerned about the message that it was sending. And I was like, that's certainly not my interpretation or what it is. That's your interpretation. And that's you going into the negative automatically because it sounds cool to you maybe, but that's not at all what it is. It's a female hero. Like, why don't you see that? Right. And that was a name given to me by Breeze. And sometimes I'm like, female, I'm at this point in my life where I'm like, save yourself so that you can save and help others. So even the name Heroin, and when you asked me, a little earlier, like, we might want to ask you about the name. Names hold a lot of weight. They hold a lot of weight. And I feel like I am blessed in that I've been in a situation recently where I have been kind of helping, to do things and push things. And so rather than, resenting it, I've been feeling good about being able to help my team and stuff like that. But I have been removed a bit from my own creative process. So I hope at some point, I'll get back there And when I do, maybe I'll still be heroin, or maybe I'll be somebody else that I feel like fucking being at
Yeah.
my age, because I
Right.
just
I
can.
love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love the
I love
transparency, man, and the confidence. This is
Mhm.
what I mean with the ladies
That's
in
that
hip hop,
MC
man.
shit.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Take
I
no
love that.
prisoners and
Mm.
no apologies.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
Like,
Well,
man.
let's go into a few more songs real quick. I know y'all remember this one.
I rock rough and stuff with my Afro puffs.
Rock on with your man, say.
I rock rough and stuff with my Afro puffs.
Rock on with your man, say.
I rock on with my pants off cause it's a must. It's the lady of rage still kicking up dust. So let me loosen up my bra strap. And let me boost you with my raw rap. Cause I'ma break it down to the nitty gritty one time. When it comes to the lyrics, I get busy with mine. Busy as a beaver, you best believe her. This brand diva's running shit with the speed of a cheetah. Me the lyrical murderer. I'm serving them like 2 scoops of chocolate. Check out how I rock it. I'm the one that's throwing bolos. You better roll to find out I'm the #1 solo. The capital R-A. Now kick it to the G-E. I bring the things to light, but you still can't see me. I flow like the only you can't cramp my style. For those that tried to punk me, here's a parent child. No need to say mo. Check the flow. Rage in the back, run smoke. So now you know I rock rough and stuff with my Afro puffs.
Rock on with your man, say.
I rock rough and stuff with my Afro puffs.
Rock on with your man,
Now I'm
say.
hitting them.
Hold on. She did say, I flow like a monthly. You can't cramp my style. Oh,
Woo! Bars.
her bars were so serious. I mean, all of these women that we played, their bars were serious. But
I love
Rage
Rage.
hit me from a different angle. Like, oh man.
I was so inspired by Rage. I was so inspired by Rage. Are you kidding me? All
Mm.
that Chronic, yo,
Oh, oh,
yo, that
Lord.
album. Damn, I'm trying to think of the song.
What, the intro?
The intro joint.
It might have been the intro. Let me tell you something. All I know is I used to play it over and over again in my brother's studio, aka the room where he was doing all kind of production. At that time, both hip hop wise, the first Juggernaut album, my brother Fever, and a lot of the music. You know, one of my matter of fact, my homegirl Ray, we were talking about music the other day. And she's like, "Yo, you have a diverse knowledge of music," and I was like, I have to say, you know, my brother's really. I mean, I have my own things that I've gravitated to for sure. But the Chronic album was definitely, I remember Slim putting me on to that. Slim is Fever, aka Kev, aka he has about 10 aliases. So you may have heard me refer to him in 10 different schizophrenic tones. It's the same person, it's the same individual.
Okay.
Yeah, but the Chronic album, he put me on to that. Certain albums I just remember and I think of Kev, you know, How to Roll a Blunt, Kev. Watch, you know,
Classic.
certain, yeah. Sorry, I could
No,
talk
it's
forever with
okay.
y'all.
Nah, this is hip hop. I
You
love
listen
it.
to
I'm
hip
loving
hop.
it.
We supposed to share the experiences.
But she was
To me,
dope.
to me,
Still
Rage
is
was
dope.
another one who was underrated. Like she definitely got
Indeed.
her props, but I think she was for her, as dope as she is, super underrated.
Yeah.
I agree. She
She's
was
not
one of the illest to me.
Yeah.
Her
Really?
voice too.
Want to kick holes in the
exactly.
wall.
Say that again, Smoke.
She makes me want to kick holes in the wall.
That's
Like,
what made me want to write like that. Like yeah, I would hear verses and be like, oh, let me go back. Let me go back to the drawing board. This doesn't sound murderous enough. I
right,
need to
right.
slice somebody better with this verse.
Like right now, I literally want to put on a pair of Timbs, go over somebody's house and just kick the shit out of their fucking door. That's what I want to do.
For no apparent reason.
Yeah,
Great.
but you know, like, you know, I'm 45 now, so right now I'm wearing these Crocs.
Girl, I got a pair too, baby. Mine are black. They got the shit. You hear me?
Yeah, she's not kicking down doors in them Crocs. She got to put
Oh,
a
my
tip
bad,
on.
my bad.
Right.
I should have shown you this one. This is the one with Winnie the Pooh on it.
Yes,
Got
honey.
Winnie on
Not
that one.
alone.
But
I watched this in
yeah,
Crocs.
this song makes me want to go outside and just kick the shit out of somebody's car
Yeah.
or some shit. Like,
So-
yeah, go pay for that shit now. Go get that shit fixed.
Tell him Rage sent you.
Yeah, right.
like tell
Large
him
Marge.
Marge sent you. X, yeah.
Yes. Hold up. I gotta hear a little more Rage. Hold on.
Session going on in the studio. We just kick it back, get fucked up and all. You know, puffing off a few blunts, drinking on a little bit of that Tiger Right. Tiger Right, yeah. So right about now, hey yo Rage, yo run that shit, G.
Always and forever, forever and always. The rhythm will flow from now on through all days. As long as the sun shines, as long as Eisenhower's on the dime. Yo, I'll be kicking the rhyme. One time for your mind, your soul, your body. DOG's on the side of me, smooth as E&J. Hard as McCartney, smacking those daddy yakking ducks that keep quacking. Hear that a cackling, end up crackling. Under the heat, the pressure from the one that's deafer. Egyptian ruler call me Cleo or Nefertiti. Yes, indeedy. Got the eyes that are beady body from Tahiti. Voice up the wind, lyrics blow. Chills up the spine, that's so. All thoughts in your mind, drop them, yell. You came in the front, but you'll be kicked through the back door if you try to step. Try to come and correct, try to play the left. Try to start a mess, try to cause fuss. Try to raise a ruckus, you're in the ashes to ashes, dust to dust, the buster. You must have been bugging on drugs and alcohol. Back off, folio up against the wall. Spread them, dogs, go get them. Handcuff them and stuff them, cold shut them, don't let them utter a word. Not tomorrow I heard, if you try you die. Vision blurred, speech slurred, served with a cherry on top. Rage in the fact that just begun to rock. Yeah, rock on with your bad self. Rage, rock on with your bad self. Rage, rock on with your bad self. Rage.
Rage. Okay, we're gonna keep going because we're getting near the end.
Yeah, rod digging, flip mode, outsider, shit tight, down to the coochie. Yeah, check it. And I say what's tight, cause the sister write rhymes all day and all night. Dwelling south of the Hudson, New Jerusalem, in seclusion, using fake pseudonyms. I'm true bad. Mine travels like a schizo on two tabs with do-rags hanging from my pockets. Need a rap bitch to go back to pediatrics. Early lessons, rappers like you was straight festive. So recognize, I make a nigga eyes come alive off of 525s. Disguise the camouflage. I shoot a virus out my spirals with mad priors for taking mad niggas' titles. Wedded in the reservoir, lurking in the bushes, striking blows like Chesamar, codename Hassana. Warming in a bomber, hotter than the region of Ghana. Get loot like that Trump bitch Ivana. Now, who be writing rhymes all night? Ride nigga in the house and my plans is tight. He's to the ones that don't bite. Ride nigga in the house and my plans is tight. A black queen, and best believe my black jeans won't say Paco. I swing to the Ville for some waffles and some beef falafel. Raspberry type liquor got me different. Dirtier than the overseas shipment of keys. I write these type butters, creme de la gutters. Call me Shay Digger. Sliding over loops like the A-Fig. Baby, I'm hard. Represent the feminist god. That gets blunted. Watch rhymes running over. See me in the Camel Range Rover. Chop. And I won't stop for Jake and keep heat by the waist for those to play a hate. Now, show you the way to blow. Better than I tell you. Word to my beeper and my cell, you love. What? Polo curls, digging all the rapping shit like they go-go girl. Now, who be writing rhymes all night? Ride nigga in the house and my plans is tight. Peace to the ones that don't bite. Ride nigga in the house and my plans is tight. Who the tightest? I rock with laryngitis. Gold's good for Midas, but I want the highest. So don't try me, cause I'll be the bitch.
Sorry. Digger. I had to stop. That's cheese. Ooh.
Digger's a problem. A good problem.
Yes.
Always has been.
Yes. Digger made Vic stand up just now. Vic.
Hey,
yo.
There's a pattern.
That's the homegirl right there. Like I met her a few times, and she is as dope as she is on record in person. Like she's bananas. Personality, character, everything, just dope. Salute to Rod Digger. Another favorite of mine.
Nicole said, anyone else worried that Vic is going to get caught up in his headphone cord?
I can't mess with you, Mikkel.
That was Nicole.
Was that Nicole? Both of them.
Sister.
Yeah, exactly.
Look,
I'm more worried for the chord. I think Vic is fine. I'm worried about the chord. Vic is like, look here, man. I'm gonna get up, stand up.
Yo, y'all ladies invoke that out of me, man. I'm telling you, like I love MCs as a whole, but the ladies just hit different for me. They always have. Always have, honestly.
We special.
I love y'all, man. Salute to y'all.
And this next female, babe, can you play this video real quick? This video just gives an example of this female's greatness. Before I play anything of hers real quick, I just want to play it.
Oh no. Come on now.
Controversial when L Boogie rocks. I confuse crews with views that's unorthodox. Matter potential. I'm deadly with a pencil. Even when I'm pregnant, rock without the instrumental. Fall from accidental, I was born with a mission. Freak up a style like a baby, change position. Scare competition like a bad superstition. Get you wide open like the average obstetrician. Some different stuff like a Jew to a Christian. I'll intimidate you like a black politician. Soft in the killing, stroke guitars like I'm Dylan. Styles elevate you till you dance on the ceiling.
Dancing on the ceiling.
Song mastery and rhapsodies can't be doubted cause I'm bout it like I'm Master P.
Like a Master P. I'm sorry, I don't usually ad lib. You already know. Y'all already know. And that's one of my favorite verses. Shout out to y'all for selecting that footage. That's one of my favorite verses, low key, from Lauryn Hill.
Pregnant.
She is the best. She is the ultimate dopest. Like, oh my God. You already know that was what that was gonna do to me. Y'all already knew. Come on. I'm sorry. Y'all know.
You don't have to apologize when it comes to Lauren. Ever.
What about this?
Pick up your microphone. Yo, how many mics do we rip on the deli? Say me say many money. Say me say many. How many mics do we rip on the deli? Many money. Say me say many.
I get mad frustrated when I rhyme. Thinking of all them kids that try to do this for all the wrong reasons. Seasons change, mad things rearrange, but it all stays the same like the love Dr. Strange. I'm tame like the rapper. Get red like a snapper when they do that. Got your whole block saying true that. If only they knew that. It was you who was irregular. Soldier soul for some secular music actors. Whack, plus you use that. Loop over and over, claiming that you got a new style. Your attempts are futile. Ooh, child, you're puerile. Brainwaves are sterile. You can't create, you just wait to take my tape. Laced with malice, hands get callous. From gripping microphones from here to Dallas. Go ask Alice if you don't believe me. I get inner visions like Stevie. See me ascend from the chest like the weeby. Indeed, be like Calip Muhammad. MCs make me vomit. I get controversial. Freaking style with no rehearsal. Ooh, contraire move, friend. Don't you even go there. Me without a mic is like a bee without a snare. I dare to tear into your ego. We go way back like some ganja and Palico or Calico vision. My mind's making incisions in your anatomy. And I back this with Deuteronomy. Or Leviticus, God made this word. You can't get with this. Sweet like licorice. Dangerous like syphilis. Yeah.
So just so we know, just so the people know out there, Lauren, we are doing an entire episode on Lauryn Hill. For one
How
of the
can you not? How can you
We
not?
need that. We need
That's
that.
proper.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
proper.
You know, like we couldn't even just try to fit her in to the rest of this episode. That's just insane.
She deserves a full episode, indeed.
She really does. She really does. Okay. So we're gonna go a couple more places real quick while we're here. Let's just get it going. All right. The great Bahamadia.
Flamed combustion, thrusting new versions of verses over kids' heads like halos, bending their brain cells like innovation, definition, different renditions of creations, sorta like what I'm doing, styles that I be using, wordsmith meets rap fusion, if that's a category fit for Grammy like Soul Sports and competitors better look out like Pac-Tan once I be cool. innovation. The first to influx information, no relation to actors. Instead, pandactic. Combating pros with passionate passages, surpassing the realm of gun-toting savages. However, able to serve them like Mr. Belvedere once confronted. They don't ever want it, cause I got my freestyle fellowship membership, but I will still get fit to ace you alone. I-N-N-O-V-A-tion. Presentation, original, ways of thinking, rationale, ready for consumption to each one sucking, or rather lured by each lyric contour to the complexity.
She's another one. All of these women really deserve their own night in their own moment. Period. But while we're here and we rocking, and we got the queens here. Let's just rock. Hold on, here we go.
STAHHR. 2 H's for hip hop. Skid 'em Astro. It's catastrophe. Yeah. The world on my shoulders, mama can't afford to drop it. Worshipping on her glory since before the Christian Coptics. Like a Shira L's consort, taking no shorts. Fertile crescent like Hathor, on the path more. Natty Congo, sweeter than a Mongo or Carabola. 1 megahertz the Motorola. Free a Capulon, Rex phenomenon. Escaping Babylon with a one-way ticket. Got the 1, 2, and 3, you ain't gotta pay the ticket. Like football, Black Stars taking the World Cup. Waking the world up, keeping it thorough. What? Star and Astro, it's catastrophe. More currents activating more cash flow. More love, get exactly what you asked for. More light, megawatts, let it blast, yo. More peace to the east, let's dash, yo. Feel this healing, stop concealing. Truth we building for the children. Mamas, babies, daddies, raise me raw and safely, growing daily. Feel this healing, stop concealing. Truth we building for the children. Mamas, babies, daddies, raise me raw and safely, growing daily. Reconnected cheese, 6 degrees with the data. Put your pieces back together, resurrection after scatter. Take the best of weed, then add it to the batter. Fill it in your dark matter, 3 steps on the ladder. Ingesting CDs, thoughts like telepathy. Universal weaponry, pass on the dogma. Mesh connects portal, giving birth to my karma. Yes, comma, copy bliss, I'ma eat, sleep, breathe, shine light. That's the armor, the foundation. Peak the demonstration, it's time, no more waiting. Activation, higher than the peaks of Mount Kilimanjaro. Good like some groundnut stew, spinach and caro. I'm in a cara, twinkle little starra. I get it from my homie and I be mother father. First step is love, you missing that, then don't bother. Feel this healing, stop concealing. Truth we building for the children.
Shout out to Star.
Yeah, that's my sis. That's my sister. She just had a birthday, so happy belated.
Happy
It's a
belated.
beast.
Shout out.
She definitely is.
Oh,
yeah. Oh my God. And to
so
continue.
many.
Listen, and I know you just said that's your sis right there. So we might as well go into this joint. It's called Kill Bill 3. It's a Ty Phoenix joint featuring ours truly, Queen Heroine, and Star, and it's crazy.
Queen first. Yo, enter the Terror Dome. Fuck with some shit you ain't never known. Titties that's homegrown, spitting a low tone. Flip you into like an ozone. Oh no, don't let me zone. Cause if I go with straight 11, watch things get strange. Like severing brains. 11-7 numerical way or American way. Real ill, some Kill Bill. Skill run parallel to visual throw. Aesthetics mine, probably resemble a Evelyn King. Thinking heroin must sing till I open the Mustang and start leveling dudes' dames on dirt terrain. As if in an old western I went bang. So watch your justice then, or justice who ain't funny but pester. The queen of media to the lessons lurking in my lane. Stay twerking on your page. Serve this LA, fake competitors. My verse is venomous. Leave you shitting on yourself, enemies.
That's the sound of your karma coming. She's a bitch, can't run from her. Deadly with the rhymes when we penning them. You still ill, Kill Bill, finish him. That's your karma coming on the way. Cause karma is a bitch and you gotta pay. Deadly with the rhymes when we penning them. You still ill, Kill Bill, finish him. My pen squirt the blood of circle jerks. They thought I was dead and buried, covered with cemetery dirt. Villains heard Amber Alert, they and a child missing. Can't put a finger on it. It's been a wild mission. It's been a while. Listen, madness to the mended man, channeling spirits while I focus on this master plan. Hot damn hole, here we go again. Stop sleeping on the goddesses. Patience is wearing thin. Yeah, let's get one thing clear. I follow intuition, y'all driven by fear. Share, panic in the disco, aura and my wrist glow. Wavy as the bay out in Frisco, essential. Mind, body, spirit, and the fiscal. The two-piece and biscuit, show 'em what the fists do. Breath, blow the whistle. Spices and herbs, we sauteing these birds with the power of words.
You should be walking around like this. These people will kill you.
That's the sound of your karma coming. She's a bitch, can't run from her. Deadly with the rhymes when we penning them. You still ill, kill Bill, finish him. That's your karma coming on the way. Cause karma is a bitch and you gotta pay. You deadly with the rhymes when we penning them. You still ill, kill Bill.
It disgusts me how you hoes hate. Flow is great, my name hold weight. Vengeance is the dish and I'm serving you on a cold plate. More than beef, nigga, nah, we got a whole steak. Keep trolling, I'll be while your soulmate come home late. It's no debate, I spit harder than amethyst. Catching bodies on the mic, invoice me for the damages. Amateurs, keep thinking shit sweet like marmalade. My skills slice you like the Kill Bill katana blade. The Grand Water Trine Coalition, talking that whoopie woo. I will Lucy Lou, you leave your dome missing. Cause it's a ritual, body by this bitch's brew. Nobody know you though, so nobody be missing you. Heroin and Star said, listen, Ty, you wrong for this. Thought they was the shit until I pissed all on their confidence. Nowhere to be found now, you missing an anonymous. Kill Bill, bury that nigga, mission accomplished.
You don't know yet how long it takes to die.
That's the
Wow. Whoa.
That's good stuff.
Fuego.
That's good stuff.
Fire!
Fire!
Had to stand
Okay.
and salute.
Thank you, man.
Out of
What a
respect.
great collabo.
No, thank you. Thank you for those beautiful, like, just, yeah, I'm just at a loss for words. Thank you. Thank
Absolutely,
you.
man.
Incredible.
It was fun. It was
Incredible.
fun. That song happened, John. So, like I was saying earlier, when I was talking about, being younger and just seeing so many comrades and Ty, I've known Ty for years. I've known Ty. I mean, we've all been in Star too. I mean, we've been in the same circles for years. When you talk about just the era of hip hop and coming up in what was, labeled more of an underground scene, economically, you know what I mean? It wasn't mainstream. It still comes back to money. But Ty, I mean, these were we cross paths all the time. We just never collaborated, right? We'd have shows, Wetlands, Nuyorican, Tramps. I mean, we were all circulating, doing the same venues. But it wasn't until years later. And Ty hit me up. At the time I was living in Chicago, and she reached out via Instagram. So it's not always horrible, social media, and she was like, yo, Pete's Heroin, what's good? You want to get on this joint, sis? I was like, yeah, no
That's
doubt.
dope.
So she sent me the beat. Beat was fire. And I was like, damn, I sounded like I was from Chicago. Fire. I was out there for a couple of years. That's fire. Yeah, definitely had my Midwest for a moment. Shout out to Chicago, my old
So what's
stomping
the
ground.
idea? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, not at all. Well, here's the thing. She sent me the beat, and I was like, yo, that joint cray. I said, that's nuts. And then I was like, you know what? I started hearing, like, it sounded like some Kill Bill shit to me. And I texted her like, yo, it sounded like some Kill Bill shit to me. And she was like, that's crazy. I was thinking something similar. And so it became Kill Bill. And then of course Star and Star, amazing, obviously a lyrical assassin as well. And so I guess she had reached out to Star, she had reached out to me, and Star and Ty, they cool too. And so we all just collabed, and we did it separately as far as recording because of how things are. We were all in different places as far as location wise. And then we got to get into the video, which was insane. We had fun, but it was insane. I got off the plane. I was running super late. They were like, yo, heroin, where are you? Like the video that starts that way, they were really like, yo, where is she? No, really.
You came in hot off the press, for real.
No, I'm not kidding. I got dressed in the airport bathroom, and little old lightweight ladies were looking at me like, what's wrong with her? I was like throwing on makeup, don't talk to me, like zipping up my outfits, you know? I'm like, excuse me, ma'am, while I get dressed and go into, you know, video mode, you know, like, who is this lady, you know?
Wow.
So, and then I got there, I got out the cab, and they were like, yo, we've been waiting. We need you to go right into this, like right now. And, you know, I had on my melanin sweat perspiration. I was definitely hot. It was a hot day in Florida. We were in Florida. And as a matter of fact, I was wearing this. Was I wearing this? Might be wearing this right here. And I was like, I came out the cab and started literally 5 minutes later spitting my verse. And they were like, oh, wow, she was ready. I was like, I've been on the plane ready. Like, I'm ready. Let's do this. You know?
That's some super MC shit.
But it was fun. And then after we just chilled, you know, went and swam and, you know, had some beverages and just chilled.
Just
took
chill.
flicks. And then afterwards, the response was amazing. And people were like, yo, y'all need to do like a whole album. Y'all need to do like a group together. I mean, the love was so, there was just so much positive feedback after, you know.
That's dope.
It was a dope collab. I was proud to be part of it. It's a solid song. I'm very proud of that song.
Thank you for sharing. And thank you for sharing your friend in the background, man. He's been stealing the spotlight from you too.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a little girl. I'll let her say what's up. She's another killer. So her name is Layla.
Man.
Her name is Layla.
Adorable, man.
The joke is, here's the joke, man. When I go on, because everything's virtual, so I teach virtually too. And as soon as I teach, like as soon as class starts, all of a sudden she's jumping in the camera. I'm like, yo, little camera hog, get out of here, little vain self. You know, but that's my baby too. Yeah, she's sweet.
Adorable, man.
Okay. So while we're here, got another joint or two I wanted to go into of heroines because this one called Roach Killer from the Metamorphosis album.
To all the women out there with some mean roach killers stepping strong through life, dealing with the day-to-day grind. Sometimes, you know, it's hard to put them shoes on. But we gotta do what we gotta do. I got my roach killers. You see me? Roach killers. I love my roach killers. I got my roach killers. You see me? Roach killers. I love my Another day, I'm feeling tired, but I gotta go. Get it together, get my gear, turn on the radio. Ain't nothing on, so turn it off. I'm singing in my head. Turn on the pod, I'm playing Bob, so now I'm moving. I'm running late, I gotta get my daughter to the bus. But then again, I'll just take it cause we in a rush. It's breakfast, lunch, the backpack, homework. Before I head out the house, put on my boots first. Yeah, I got my roach killers. You see me? I love my I got my you see me? I love my back to the crib, I gotta stop and pick up some gas. I'm running low, I make a left, some fool is driving fast. I nearly crashed, but see him coming, so I let him pass. Look for my purse, find my credit card, take it out. Type the zip, what type is this? 89 and now. I push for debit, then the code and start to pump, but how? The same dude who cut me off is trying to check me out. I kiss my teeth, hop in my Jeep, but first I cuss him out. Yeah. I got my roach killers. You see me? Roach killers. I love my I got my roach killers. You see me? Roach killers. I love my back on the road again. I'm opening my bag to check. Phone is vibrating. I'm wondering who the heck is calling at this type of morning. It's 8 a.m. Rachel sending me a text about this evening. That little after work spot, I'm still debating. I may go, Lord knows I need a break in. I text her back, yes, but ask her what's the dress code. Some skinny jeans, a cute top, plus your peep toes. You know I'm gonna have those. Yeah. Yeah. I got my. You see me? I love my. I got my.
Ooh. Oh, wow. Let's talk about the Roach Killers. What inspired that? I mean, it sounded like a day in the life or several days in the life, but what triggered this? Did the beat inspire it or did something else happen?
Actually, so my brother Kev, aka Slim, aka Fever, he produced that track. Shout out to Slim, the beat master monster. And I heard it and I think he had labeled it Roach Killer, or the sample was connected to something like an old reggae joint. And so the name Roach Killer really came from more of the production, and then I kind of just worked the conceptual aspect of Roach Killers. If I show you my shoe collection, it's ridiculous, and I don't go nowhere. All I do is put on my same ugly ass, the joints that look like Uggs, but I have the fake ones because I buy stuff like that for my daughter. So I have like the pug. You know what I mean? I don't do like the real joints for me. So like all the sexy, cute shoes, they kind of just up there. But I love shoes. I'm a shoe fanatic. But it was a day in the life. I mean, that the album Metamorphosis was really about just a lot of things that were happening at that time. It was more of a personal project. It was more of a challenge project. It was, yes, B-Raw, some real life rap stuff. I mean, my daughter, I was literally taking her to the bus, and there'd be days I'd miss the bus. And I'd be like, all right, you know the deal. Let's go. Mommy drive you there. So it was really just kind of a day in the life of what that looks like, and some days looking cute, some days you just throw on whatever. But Mikkel mentioned it, like I said, she'd be hitting them comments. It's like I had to retire my Roach Killers. I'm with Smoke too. I'm like Crocs. I mean, I have them. I whip them out for a special occasion. Either I'm going somewhere or I'm going to look extra cute for somebody indoors. I'll leave it at that. And so it's one or the other. And other than that, it's not a Roach Killer moment these days. COVID, it's like, where am I walking to the bathroom to look cute? Like, come on. But at the time, it was definitely something that I was just transitioning as a mother. I was bringing my daughter to the studio many, many nights. And it was just writing about real life, like B-Raw said, real life stuff.
I love that.
Dope. And the album cover, I'm assuming it was you and your mom?
Yeah. The album cover. Yep, that's me and mom. That's me and mom. The original queen. Thank you. That was an administrative Fever call. And it is an iconic picture. So yeah, that's Mom Dukes there.
It's an amazing. I love it.
I love it. Yeah, same here.
Seriously. All right. Do y'all have a few minutes? Because there's another song or two I'd like.
Oh, no doubt. I'm loving this. I'm here for it.
I got one more I definitely want to run of the Queens.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Man, my pleasure. This was fun.
This right fun. Here. Thank you. This right here is a joint that she did with Master Ace. I'm going to only play her part because, again, right now it's about the ladies. But big up to Master Ace,
Absolutely. Shout out to Ace.
This is called Mother's Regret. This is,
The Doing this day job, tell you it's day hard. Damn it, the pain robs my spirit, it fades far. Each moment the brain's on cornered, cause the rent's in the red gone. Medical bills that swell more, caring for my unwell moms. But it's Karen who I depend on to tend to Sean, who's 10 the nights I work long. Grave shifting it, got the gray hairs glistening, looking clear. Huxtable, mine is slipping. When the last time I tried hollering at him, we just rifted, then drifted in. Some nights I want to escape this prison, get away where ignorance is bliss, wherein pain stops existing. Watch it dissipate with the weight, see the shift in my fate, face, countenance. It was like I was bound to slip, cursed. I'm just trying to keep these tears out my eyes while I say this verse.
You alright? I need to bring that back one more time. There was so much feeling and emotion in that verse, in the delivery, in the music, and I'm gonna shut up. This is
Doing this day job, tell you it's day hard. Damn it, the pain robs my spirit, it fades far. Each moment the brain's on cornered, cause the rent's in the red gone. Medical bills that swell more, caring for my unwell moms. But it's Karen who I depend on to tend to Sean, who's 10 the nights I work long. Grave shifting it, got the gray hairs glistening, looking clear. Huxtable, mine is slipping. When the last time I tried hollering at him, we just rifted, then drifted in. Some nights I want to escape this prison, get away where ignorance is bliss, wherein pain stops existing. Watch it dissipate with the weight, see the shift in my fate, face, countenance. It was like I was bound to slip, cursed. I'm just trying to keep these tears out my eyes while I say this verse.
You alright? I'm looking at your eyes to see if your pupils is big.
Salute.
Thank you so much.
Poetry.
Thank
Absolute
you.
poetry.
Yes.
Yes. So much, man. That was an honor. That was an honor right there. I mean, to do a joint with Ace, he is hip hop. I mean, we're all hip hop, but I grew up hearing, listening to him too. So
Yeah.
it's like, to be able to do something like that was special for sure.
You're special for sure.
I was about to say the words right out my mouth. I was about to say the same thing. Exact same thing.
You are.
Go ahead.
So captivating.
Much, everyone. Thank you, Small.
Like
Thank you.
I'm never this quiet. Ask John. Like I can talk for like 2 hours. And I'm just in awe of you. Like every time you spoke, you had my full attention. Like I just want to keep listening to you.
Thank you so much. You too, sis. Super powerful, man. Super powerful voice. Love everything you said. Right on point. Very poignant with everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
Queen, wait till you hear some of Smoke's poetry and some of her.
Oh,
why wait?
Why
wait? Why wait?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Hold on, Vic.
Yo, can I just say something real quick before we get into like the subject of the poetry, just because I just want to go back to Queen real quick. I have your music. We used to play your music on our radio show back in the day when I was married. My ex-husband, he started co-hosting a radio show, underground hip-hop radio show at the age of 16. And then we both met when we were 19. Mm-hmm. And lo and behold, many years later, we were married for about 13 years. We were still playing your music at the radio station. And I have a chest right in front of me that's just filled with tapes and CDs. And I also have an iPod where I'm pretty sure your album is on that iPod. And as soon as I find it, I will definitely show it to you, because I know your music is on there, and I've never changed this iPod, because back then, like, you could only hook up your iPod to one computer.
Right.
So like I have all these old school songs on there, and this song and the Roach Killer song is definitely on there. That's how I knew who you were. As soon as they said Queen Heron, I was just like, wait a second, like, isn't this like the Stomp the Ground, like something like, yo, and then
yes.
like Cause when I hear Roach, cause all I picture is a pair of Tims walking down the
Right,
street,
right,
like,
right.
you know, that's all I see is hitting the pavement. That's what I see in my head. So I'm just
Right.
like, I know this. I know this. And then I come to realize, like, oh snap, hold up, like we used to play your music all the time on the
So
radio show, all the
dope.
time.
Thank you so much for supporting, man. That's what it's about. You know, you're not gonna turn on, certain stations mainstream and hear them. So, it's things like that, things like what you guys were doing that helps to give life. Shows like this,
Yeah.
letting people know, so
Yo,
we appreciate that as artists tremendously.
you sit in a special pocket with your flow. Okay? This is just from my opinion. You sit in this pocket of precision, but there's this looseness in the vulnerability of your words. Not that you're weak or anything. To me, vulnerable is a strong word when you're able to
Agree.
wield it.
I agree.
You're wielding it through your words. And it's like it's a flow to really follow because you're saying some shit, but you're like an alien.
It's funny. It's funny. My homegirl calls me the same thing. She's like, "You're an alien." She's like, "Matter of fact, your whole family." She's like, "Your whole
Oh, yes,
family.
yes,
You guys are all aliens." So I take that as the highest extraterrestrial compliment.
Yeah,
Thank you so
straight
much.
X Files, the whole family.
Straight X Files. Thank you. Throw up the X,
Word up.
DX, X Files, all of that. Thank you so
Right.
much, man.
Yes.
Real quick, do y'all remember this?
Many reasons for you to want more. Possessing with a mic, don't have to front hardcore. If you
Natural
hear the
Elements.
sound that you heard before, get with the raw. You never have to front hardcore. That's word law. I bring it to your jaw when I flex, dropping lyrics on your brain until it's depressed. Redress, your style is worth as much as shoes from Payless. My verbal address. These rappers unsafe like raw sex, question mark like yes. You couldn't see me if I walked undressed, or drew a bodily sketch. So what you smoke cess, I get cerebral. You stay feeble, no soul like the Beatles. Couldn't sew shit up with a needle and wanna get evil. Your stilo is dumb. Rappers like you get bucked. The only max I know are trucks. Fuck a judge and jury. Surely hell has no fury. Like a woman scorned, done wrong and shit. Essence got bones to pick. I'm starting with those who run hard and scar, but it's off like Cool Whip. High behind glitz whenever I click. My stock remains blue chip. I stand firm like a wreck dicks and leave your pussy with word law. It's just the first of many reasons for you to want more. Possessors with a mic don't have to front hardcore. If you're tired of hearing styles, that's
Essence was crazy.
Yo.
Essence was crazy. Here's Amanda
We get
Diva.
down, we get down. Yeah,
I wish she had really went there.
So cool. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. We get fly, we get fly. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Innovators. I feel like $1,000,000 in my $5 J's, $40 Chucks. See, it don't take much, cause when you got it, you got it. And yes, I got it. Oh yes, I got a lot of personality. I call it character, individuality, and all that. Follow what they say in my vernacular. Demeanor is that of a leader diva. They call me not for nothing. I'm something like a queen. Crown unseen, I rock beneath the curly mane. Frown not me, just got a lot on the brain. Downshifting, never a part of the plan. Lewis Hamilton, my formula is to be #1. These fakes is cumbersome, awkward in their movements, trying to catch my rhythm, fucking up my groove, man. Over here we prove that flies a state of mind. Feet planted, but we rise above them crumbs every time. Can't go here, so the body, make the rules, follow line, trendsetters.
We're gonna need time to really talk about all of these females. My goodness gracious. But I couldn't end this evening without playing at least a little bit of Jean Grey. Shout out to Jean Grey. Oh my God.
Most definitely.
Okay.
Another major, one of the illest too.
Yo, she's probably the funniest woman in hip hop too. Like
Has
she's
a very, very
hilarious.
interesting comedy.
Yo,
Very
she-
dark comedy at its best.
word. Yo, I love
Yes.
her. Yo, she one time somebody drew a picture of her, but it was like an adult male that drew the picture, but the picture was like drawn with crayon and it looked like a little kid drew it, and she just like, yo, she roasted him. Roasted him.
Oh yeah, she'll
And I'm like,
she'll
yo,
roast some.
somebody
I've seen it done. I've seen it done. Like I've seen it done. I remember like once we had like one show. I remember we had like it was a radio show, and I just remember laughing. She's like, "See, that's why I don't come here. That's why I don't come here." Because you say shit like that, she's definitely unfiltered at its best. Extremely talented, extremely talented. There's so many. I saw in the chat. I just want to acknowledge someone shouted out Invincible. Extremely intelligent. Just the whole Anomalies pre-Helix. I want to just
Wow,
acknowledge,
Helix.
Key
Oh,
Turner, and also Boss. She's actually going through some major health issues, and she was very inspirational to me growing up. So certainly, anyone who's listening, go ahead. I think there's a GoFundMe. I've been meaning to actually post some information up. Boss. I mean, so many people don't mention her. Not enough people mention her, but she Deeper. I played Deeper. That was another reason why I was like, I'm gonna write these rhymes. I mean, I was already writing, but I remember listening to Deeper again with my brother. I remember specifically being on 241st by Pepino's in the Bronx and just playing it over and over while I waited for him. He was like grabbing a slice of pizza, and I was addicted. I just couldn't get enough of that song. And one of my favorite joints to date. A very inspiring song. Helped write a lot of rhymes.
Yeah.
Yo.
Speedy recovery to her too.
Yes.
Indeed.
Recovery. That's wow.
That's one of the songs I wanted to play, but I had to skip it because we were going through so much, but I gotta play it.
Please do.
You mentioned it, so here it is.
Same time boss come on, she just come down.
Dangerous.
I'm going deep.
I don't really wanna feel like I'm in a daze, so I smoke big pills just to deal with the ills. Life is fucked up trip. My skills ain't paying bills and it's fucking with me in my grip. I drink that St. shit and smoke a ticket at the same time. Drop a wicked bomb on my naughty nature. I'm living foul like a nigga about a bitch. I'm not the woman asleep, but I'm lost. Cause I be on some old, I'm tired of niggas trying to come up off bitches type thing. And if I don't react the way he want, he might swing his little trick bitch ass in another direction, then don't even use protection. I hate stupid shit ass hoes, can't avoid. Yo, and if worse came to worse, I run abroad on unemployed. Cause who the fuck cares that I got gray hairs and can't sleep? Know what I mean?
This is deep. I'm going deep.
Every now and then I start flipping and get to thinking about deep shit behind all that bullshit I shoot at people.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But fuck it, I'm evil. And I'm hip to every bitch trying to get a grip, and every nigga trying to get a grip. But fuck that shit. And I say fuck that shit with my mighty middle finger. I'm heavy up into this rap shit, fucking singers. Yo, I think I'm getting tense. Cause my dollars ain't making no fucking sense. But then again, it's probably all that chronic that I smoke. I used to be like that when I was out there slanging dope, and lately I've been flipping on some old paranoid shit. Like looking fuckers up and down, trying to start shit, cause I'm a hard bitch.
So why don't you just soften up?
I try to be cool, but I get caught up when I go to clubs. Straight up, I don't even trust myself.
Yo, you can trust me.
Fuck I know.
I'm just like you.
Right, that's deep.
She said, "I'd rather lose my mind." What is it? I'm losing my mind, but better that than my heart. That was coming up, but that line, I may be losing my mind, but better that than my heart. Wow. I mean,
yeah, that song hit hard.
Yeah, indeed.
hard.
Truth be told, that album hit hard too. It wasn't just that.
Yeah.
That whole
Yeah.
album was tough.
That was the single that was the first single that dropped, but that whole album, yes, was definitely dope. There's no question. She definitely didn't get the acknowledgement that she deserved. And then I know, later on there were like articles, oh, she went to a good school and she's talking all of this. It's like, I went to good school too, but I will chew you up lyrically on a good day when I have time to write a rhyme,
Right.
So it's like, that's the other part that comes into this. It's like you have to be of a certain thing. It's just talent,
Yeah.
with different stories.
So listen, we are going to wrap up for the night. Otherwise, we'll be here 3-4 hours. Which I wouldn't mind, but I'm trying to respect everyone's time. Man, this is why this is going to be an entire month of these conversations.
Has to be.
Any last things that any of you guys would like to say before we close for the night?
Ladies first, as always.
Queen.
Thank you, ma'am. I just want to say, first of all, this was the most virtual fun I've had in a very, very, very long time, perhaps ever.
Oh, wow.
Just the energy from everyone. I really love the structure of the show. I think it's cool. You have an artist come on, artist plural come on. You have a particular topic. You play the music. I just think the flow of it is really cool, man. And I say that both as an artist and an educator too, because it's like if you just have a stale, consistent, you're gonna lose the audience. And I think this has a really nice rhythm of conversation, of question, of music, and it's just very dope. So shout out, to Super MC and everything that y'all are doing here. Smoke, definitely a newfound friend. We will be chatting. Extremely powerful, amazing woman, artist, John, Vic. It's just been a pleasure. Thank you guys. I just want to say thank you. And again, acknowledge, the whole fam. Thanks to Ray who came in, Sis Ray, B Raw, my brothers, everyone, Matic, Juggernauts, and everyone in here. Thank you, Mikkel, for holding it down with the technology piece. And everyone's comments, man. Thank you for taking the time to come through and check. This is what we do. This is why we connect now. So thanks to everyone.
And thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
And thank you for being the MC that you are.
Thank you so much.
That shit is so important. It really is. It's so important. Anyway.
Indeed. It was awesome.
Sorry. Smoke. Anything you'd like to say?
I'm still in awe of her. I don't even know what to say. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for coming on the show. And I'm so glad that you were the special guest of the show the night that I came back.
Indeed.
And thanks for having me come back. I missed you guys. I missed the audience. This is always a lot of fun. And I look forward to doing a lot more. Not just with Super MC, but with you as well. Like, I feel like we can talk for hours, and I feel like I can learn a lot from you too. So thank you. Shout out to everybody out there watching too. I love you guys.
I love you too, Smoke.
Vic.
Man, just like Smoke, I'm still in awe, taking everything in. Yeah. Shout outs to the ladies. Thank you. Ladies first, as I always say. Smoke, thank you for reconnecting with us this evening. We missed you too. We love you, and just like a breath of fresh air always. You always bring such introspective conversations throughout any platform you're on. So thank you for that. Queen, oh man, it's just, even prior to the show, thank you so much for being that dope individual, not just a dope MC artist, but dope human being. Your energy is amazing. That Caribbean connect, we got to keep that, we definitely got to keep that intact. I'm gonna hit you with mom's recipes, definitely.
Yes, definitely. A massive big up.
Oh,
yes.
I love it.
yes, absolutely.
We gotta
exactly.
We gotta stay connected. We got to. And just you know, for me, just recently sitting down literally with one of my favorite MCs, it's really important to me. Shout outs to RJ Payne. But the best experience I could say with that, and now with you, is just the person behind the super MC is what really touches me deeply. You know what I'm saying? Like you are an extremely dope person individually. And shout outs to you. Like your energy is amazing. Your music is fire. Keep doing what you're doing. Your family is incredible. Breeze is one of my favorite MCs easily. So I'm definitely gonna be by to support his new album.
Yeah,
No
go
question
check it
about that.
out, y'all. Thank
Shout outs,
you.
shout outs to him for checking in and rocking with us in the comments. And as I always say each show, to my brother John Pelham, thank you, thank you, thank you so much, brother. Without you, this is not possible. You know,
Indeed.
Without
there's
all,
no other platform, honestly, and I'm just gonna poke my chest out to say no other platform like Super MC that's rocking natural elements, who's talking about the lady that you mentioned earlier, like the underground Helix.
Helix. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
Helix
that's
is phenomenal,
yo,
phenomenally talented, and follow her. She's extremely, anyone hearing that name, she's
absolutely,
been raw. She's been dope.
no
Pre the
doubt.
Honey
And
Dark, all of them, man.
yes, Apani B, Jean Grey.
Honey.
I was rocking with Jean Grey from when she was what.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, all of us for sure.
you
I
know
don't
what I
know if
mean?
y'all have heard the song Estrogen that
Yes,
Apani put
absolutely.
out.
Yep, yep.
That is a classic song that is like one of them, okay, let's do this song. And Apani hit us up. Okay,
Agreed.
cool. DJ Spinner did it. And it was
Yes,
like, when will you hear a song like that again? That had so many of us from that time frame, on it, encapsulated in that one sound.
yes,
That's the
yes.
beauty of music and art. It may happen again, it may not. But the fact that there's evidence somewhere of it, that was a special song because of what it, just everyone it had on there. So yeah, shout out to all of them.
To me as a male, that was special to me. And one of my favorite songs, hands down in hip hop, is "Woman and Me" by Apani B. I don't know what it is with that song. I love it.
It is a dope
It's
song.
one of my favorite hip hop tracks ever. I showed it to my wife and we were rocking out to it in the car. So shout outs to Apani B, Jean Grey,
Indeed.
Rhapsody, Brittany Carter. There's
Brittany
a whole list.
Carter,
Shay Nor,
Cyrock.
many.
Shy Rock, Shay Nor,
And
all of y'all.
just know that everybody that you're naming, these are people that are going to be on these episodes for sure. Because I already have them on the
Yes,
list. Like
Yes, yes.
everybody you're naming, you
as
just
they
can't
should
play it
be.
one night. Unfortunately, what do you say?
Eternia too. Shout out to Eternia.
Attorney. Oh my God, the joint that
Ooh.
she had with Rod Digger and I forgot who else was on that track. Insane. I think it was. Was it Gene? Was it? No, it wasn't Gene Gray. It was Rhapsody and Eternia, and I forgot the third person.
Oh,
Rage.
Oh, Rage.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, incredible track. So anyway, shout outs to all the ladies. Thank you
So
for
many.
women in hip hop. I'm loving it. This is one of my favorite episodes, hands down. Thank you, Queen, for joining us. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you guys for having me, for sure.
Shout outs to my wife, who's one of the most incredible lady of my life. Shout outs to you because you are an
Yes.
entrepreneur at your best. You inspire me. You're beautiful. You're intelligent. You're everything to me. So shout outs to you.
Shout the
Love you.
wives out, man. Y'all want to go home and get a nice home cooked
Yes,
meal.
yes,
Get to shout your wife out. That's
yes,
right.
yes, yes.
They
And
are.
shout outs to MC Trouble. Rest in peace. I like the comment on that. Shout outs
yes.
to MC Trouble.
Yes. Shout out to everybody that tuned in tonight. Shout out to everyone that's here tonight for the show involved. I appreciate y'all all. And shout out to my wife because she's amazing. But she knows that, like, she's my teammate. You know what I'm saying? And up till now, I never had that. I've had girlfriends and all these other things, but she showed me the definition of teammate, you know?
Indeed.
And this hip hop thing that we're doing, I love it because I'm discovering music that I wasn't totally up on. Like, I wasn't up on your Metamorphosis album
Shout out
until
to Mikkel.
That's
until
dope.
I knew you were going to be on the show. And I went into it and I was like, shit, what was I missing? Like, I've been vibing off that all week. That's in my rotation now. That's what this show is about. Music that we do, but discovering other stuff too. And I love that. And I'm going to continue. This show will continue to always promote your music.
Thank you.
We would love to eventually have the Juggernauts on. Breathe.
Yeah, we'd love to be on. Yeah, let's make it happen. Let's make it happen, man. He'd be more than happy to come on. He got joints for days. Just
For
throw the whole
years,
album on.
generations.
Oh, let me tell you something. Breeze is a funny dude. One day I was listening to Spotify, listening to joints. I think I must have been cleaning in the house, and I had Breeze on. You know, I was like putting my brother on. You know, and I heard a joint. I'm like, I ain't never heard that joint. I call him like, yo, my dude, when did you do that song? He's like, oh, you know, I don't know, a little while ago. He's so humble. He's so humble. I'm like, this guy. Yeah, he has so much. You'd have fun, you know, doing a search and digging for him. So that would be wonderful. We'd be more than happy to come on.
Yes.
Honored.
All right. Yeah. Well, let's do that next month after we finish
Yeah,
this.
yeah. Whenever you're
love
ready.
that.
Whenever
Yeah.
you're ready. And shout out to Ibis too. Go get your Ibis Regalia 77.
Scully's
Shout
dope.
out, support Black businesses, no doubt. I love it, my little Scully. Should have gotten another one for winter. Winter almost done. Y'all gonna see me rocking this in the summertime.
Listen, we might still be inside. Well, we'll see.
Let's hope not. But shout out,
Mm-hmm.
y'all. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming through, everyone in the audience. So much love and appreciation to y'all.
Salute. So we're gonna end this evening with this song as we fade out, because this was a very important song in hip hop.
UNITY, that's a unity. UNITY, love a black man from Infinity to Infinity. Who you calling a bitch? UNITY, you gotta let them know. UNITY, that's the one. Here we go. UNITY, you gotta let them know. You ain't a bitch, you're a hoe. Here we go. UNITY, you gotta let them know. UNITY, that's the one. Here we go. UNITY, you gotta let them know. You ain't a bitch, you're a hoe. Instinct leads me to another flow. Every time I hear a brother call a girl a bitch or a hoe, trying to make a sister feel low, you know all of that got to go. Now everybody knows there's exceptions to this rule. I don't be getting mad when we playing, it's cool, but don't you be calling me out my name. I bring rap to those who disrespect me like a dame. That's why I'm talking. One day I was walking down the block, I had my cut off shorts on, right, cause it was crazy hot. I walked past these dudes when they passed me. One of them felt my booty, he was nasty. I turned around red, somebody was catching a rat. Then the little one said, yeah, me, bitch. And laughed. Since he was with his boys, he tried to break fly. I punched him dead in his eyes. Said, you calling a bitch? UNITY, you gotta let him know. UNITY, that's the one. Here we go. UNITY, you gotta let him know. You ain't a bitch, you're a hoe. Here we go.